listen, but I'm almost 40 years old. I've never taken what I have because I don't have anything. I don't have my children. To women that I didn't do anything bad to except give them a child and they bounced. To be kept from every funeral and every probate transaction with estates and trust funds in my family for 20 years when my brother died strangely and his kid was taken while my kids were separated from me early in life as soon as they were born by women who probably either knew or were told that the family fortune is gigantic. After struggling with this situation, in which I'm a forensic private investigator dealing with mortgage fraud especially, I started to learn probate and wills and notary laws and on and on and on and on when it comes to titles and inheritance and trust funds. And from what I can tell, there's almost no way that the accounts can't be in my name because I'm the last living that cannot be excluded. That's blood and through marriage. If somebody goes and puts that I'm not in there, it's more than just a crime. Way more than just a civil matter. If you get what I'm saying. But if they put me in there and they use identity theft and I don't know about it, and then the money's transferring to my son while he's 5 years old and my daughter while she's 2, and then I'm asking my parents who got divorced why they don't have any money and if they could stop doing that, because I do care about my kids. I just don't have anything to fight back legally to do anything about this. To tell me I have a mental health problem or I'm a drug addict, they should just go back to work and mind my business and forget about it. If they don't have any money and they didn't have trust funds, that they just said they dissolved. You can't just dissolve a trust fund and leave somebody out of it. You can't just probate wills in the states and different things and just leave someone out of it. To take over my dead brother's Facebook account. You talk about weird. What the friggin' hell does that tell you? My brother didn't even like my mother. He ran away when he was 14. I ran away when I was 15. My little sister says that she blames her for killing her dad, she said he dies on alcohol, but I think he killed himself. My brother supposedly died from a drug overdose that now says it was something totally different, some Crohn's disease or something. My dad's supposed to be on a fantasy island in fucking the Philippines with a 35-year-old woman who's 70 years old. She's telling me, hey, I never got anything from the family when she has lawsuits everywhere. They looked like they were conducted right after I moved in with him when I was younger. That before my dad left, my new stepdad was already in my house to kill himself. I will give you all the information of large, organized money that isn't owed to anybody but the people who have it, returning it times 100 to the people they took it from, and that's including the whole group of society, or leveraging large amounts of shares towards it for any type of assistance. I'm not going to go take $1 million from somebody and buy something stupid. I literally want some legal funds. So if I could get some legal assistance, that would be great. And get some help along the way to not get snuffed out by these guys. Because when I asked my dad on the Facebook Messenger after his Facebook hadn't popped up for 6 months, there's all of a sudden 10 Facebooks in his name, every Facebook he ever had. Can you call me, Dad? Because this doesn't sound like you. I said, your family's suffering and you just took off and disappeared and you're happy and rich out there. And he said, people like you can't come over here, son. He said, there's just no drugs here. Or, like for the last time, man, I told you that I'm struggling because I'm isolated and I'm being told to go to work and ignore it. And I'm struggling taking down criminals at my job that aren't just basically saying to their buddy police officer that I'm harassing them, to the point where I'm scared for myself and my kid and alone, and I'm being told, go seek help. There's no money, but I got mine and made it out here just fine, and I'm sorry I can't call you on VoIP internationally, because like the phones that flipped over to, VoIP over the years that are Wi-Fi around the world, it don't work out here in the Philippines, but the Wi-Fi does. And I know I haven't contacted you in years until you started to look for me. If you get a court order to recover somebody's Facebook, it's yours. And if I know my mom's already done that, and I know there's lawsuits everywhere that she don't want to tell me about, trust funds everywhere they don't want to tell me about. Every family in my family member seems missing. My cousin's got some fucking post online for a fucking GoFundMe fund for $20,000 for a car. It says, I hit up on my Facebook. I'm like, bro, there's some fucked up shit going on. I need your help. Block. I'm like, Dad, yeah, call me, dude. It's not an international call. We don't use it double service anymore, dude. You're being weird. Blocks me. It's my mom, the same person who acted like my dad today said, I'm out here doing great in the Philippines in paradise with this 35-year-old woman. I got everything I need, but you can't come, son. You just won't fit in here with all the fucking, dysfunction in your brain. I was like, that's crazy, dude. Like, I'm literally hanging at home. I love you, Dad. Like, I miss you. I'm like, you're a good ass dude. You worked hard as fuck. Mom took advantage of you. Like, your family's over here suffering, bro, and you're just out there. Hey, I can afford to live here, but I can't have your dysfunction here. That's why I moved here, to tell me that your other dad that she divorced has to work till he's 85 now that she robbed him, and then the other man who divorced or died from alcohol poisoning. I guess he's telling me that he killed himself, which was her saying something she shouldn't have said today because she kept that death from us and told us all he died from like hepatitis, liver failure, or something as well. But it's a guarantee that my stepdad, who I talked to last time, was extremely worried about, as well as my little sister Morgan, because the family's deceptive. I can't get a hold of almost any of my family members. And my dad didn't run off with some 35-year-old Filipino chick. They took all these pictures of the wedding, sent me all these screenshots. Next thing you know, my phone service is going down on a lifetime ACP phone. I go into the banks, go try to open bank accounts, because it's easier to do that than have them tell you you have bank accounts. I have no debt whatsoever. My school debt disappeared. Who paid my school debt off? At first, I thought maybe it was a forgiven thing, but I have zero debt. I have one $700 fucking payment left or something, some phone bill. They're setting it up. I don't know if I'm going to be piggybacking off somebody else's credit or what, but there's no way trust could dissolved and ended up on my son already, who's only 5. And that the mother keeps me away just because like I'm some sort of asshole, when really the second she showed me the positive thing, she took off to California and changed the locks. And I'm like, congratulations on a new marriage. I'm around. Just let me know. Like, if you guys ever need anything. She's like, quit bothering me. I'll put a restraining order on you. I'm like, you guys are really selling out to the devil by not understanding that if you go into this slippery slope with these people, they're not out to share the money. Nobody's ever got it. And they're not stupid legally either. And everything I've seen that they've signed off on, 100% legitimately, legally done, to be able to divorce with no money on them, you name it. Which means my time is getting close. And anybody who wants to think that that's crazy is a fool for even making an assumption, because you can look at 680 Ascot Place in Brentwood, California, and see trust fund money. You can look on Diamond Springs and see trust fund money at Crestview Drive, as well as 639 Ellenwood Lane, as well as the way it shifted out to a couple different addresses in Georgia at 178 Hatchet Trail, and that the person who sold that house to my mom was named on the other house in California, that the name changes on like 500 deeds, just that much. Has never been around to complain about it. And the prosecutors are like, well, if they agreed, they're broke. You know what I mean? Like, we have mandatory disclosures on financials, but if nobody agrees with it or disagrees with it, we just let them. You know what I mean? We don't check anyways. We just don't. Hey, you put whatever on there, man. We notarize documents. We don't check the value, but with the financial statements, under oath of perjury, you're in the court. We're just going to go ahead and accept anything you put on there. And if why would we even waste our time looking for it? People who hide their money do a good job about it. But the bottom line is the money is mine. It's in my accounts for me. Banks won't give me bank accounts. They tell me, hold on, let me go back here for a minute. They're like, you don't have any accounts here? No. You know why I've been doing that? Because I've been shutting down bank accounts. Because you have to go in with your driver's license. So tomorrow I'm going to hit every bank again that I didn't hit the other day. I'm going to say, hey guys, I need to open it. I don't have any money in my pocket, but I know they're not going to open it for me. And then I'm going to talk to the loan officer and be like, yeah, I got a huge trust fund, dude. He's going to look me up. Look at my family. Get a loan, dude. You're telling me that the trust fund's been there for 50 years and suddenly changed and you never even saw a will? No, and all my family's missing or dead, and they call me crazy and contact me on fake Facebooks that can't make voice phone calls over VIP in Philippines to try to convince me to stop looking and just go to work and mind my business. Bottom line is, I know where hundreds of millions of dollars of money that's been frauded, that the police tell me is a federal matter or a civil matter, that the feds tell me is just too much. Calm down, sir. You're totally fine. You want fries with that? Yeah. If we need anything else, we'll be back to you. It's human trafficking. You're separating a father from his children, and you're ruining my reputation, and you're squashing my memory, and you're targeting kids for the future that you're laundering money through. That is human trafficking at its finest. And no, I'm not just going to go to work and ignore it. I'm not just going to get paid off from you guys. So you know what? I'll come out of the cabin this weekend and take that money you're going to give me. No, it would be a death wish. And I'm already in that position. It's mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. I called the attorney that did their divorce the other day. Their sister law firm. I'm like, hey, Miss Strother's around? She doesn't work here anymore. I know what you're trying to do, sir, but if she doesn't work here anymore, we're not responsible. I'm just the closest living kin that works here still. But we don't give legal advice to people in divorces that fool us the whole way. We're extremely rich, and we're just going to go in there and agree on everything and pay you X amount of dollars, and you're just going to sign off on it like you did something, right? Cool. Okay, everyone's cool. Yeah, let's go. Break. I know she worked here and she's my sister, but the business can't be liable. It can, because you guys do know conflicts of interest searches when you should. You take the money too fast, which null and voids things. And when you were paid with it with stolen money, well, guess what, dude? If somebody gives me a stolen truck as a gift, I don't own it anymore. I know it's stolen, no big deal, right? No, it is a big deal, because who goes around is giving people large sums of money? And these people did that with everyone. To have a huge property to make people disappear and take over their Facebooks. Everything points to this. Every time there was a death in the family that was either suicide or alcohol or drugs, it turned out to be blunt force head trauma, Crohn's disease. We don't know where he's at. He's in the Philippines. Yeah, your cousin's doing fine. He's in Placerville asking for GoFundMe's for cars. I mean, they only take half of that stuff. And we don't have anything to help him with. I said I hated him for those years, but I love him now. How are you going to pretend to be my dad on Facebook and tell me you can't call me? As soon as they said you can't call me, I'd look it up. And the DU service on phones that have to do with getting into an old account are only attached to the original phone as far as the encrypted data goes to be able to make voice message phone calls. And what does my dad do? Telecommunications, dude, that she just divorced. It was in the Navy for intelligence and communications, which is exactly that. You're building an architect of being somebody who coordinates that type of equipment and builds it for a Avaya. That's what you do. And they're some of the best, smartest, most intelligent people in the world, which is why my dad didn't have a Facebook or contact anyone for a year. And all of a sudden there's 500 Randy Judkins online right now. You want to see how many Randy Judkins are on Facebook? See, this is the thing that smoked them. The collection of data that Google saves for us was the bane of the existence because they used all this stuff to try to steal all money from people. So what happened was, when you get a court order for Randall Judkins Facebooks, you're not just going to be like, that one will probably be good. You know what I mean? We don't need the other 500. You're going to get them all. So then all of a sudden you got like someone sitting over there going, oh, fuck, dude. We got 500 houses with the same guy's name on it. Like, what do we do? Don't worry about it. They all look different. And he's like, and he's like 9 or he is. You only ever really had 2 maybe at once. I mean, this shit's old. They were sending me pictures from that Facebook. Facebook's I can't get into anymore. I'm like, yeah, Dad, I haven't been able to get in that Facebook for a long time. I wonder how long I've been dead. You know, I'm right here, guys. You know, I'm down the street if you or the kids or anybody needs me or like whatever, you know. Hanging out in my room doing nothing because I'm scared trying to figure out what the fuck's going on with you guys. And now I'm like real scared. And then there's 500 Randy Judkins. Why don't you just look at Randall Judkins on Facebook? Okay, as of yesterday, there was like, I'm going to screenshot them all. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I sent them where they need to go. But if you go see all, you've got, look at this. It's mind blowing. So, I mean, these fucks, look how many there are. So my dad's been missing for months and he's in the Philippines with no Facebook. And then just recently, after 6 months from his last post, all of a sudden, every Randall Judkins ever popped up. And then I wondered to myself, how many times have people defrauded like my dad before and stuff behind his back like they probably did with me as well. And I did notice recently there started to be like Adam Judkins popping up in Maine. Women were still not done here. Adam Judkins popping up in Maine and we still got, I said, there's an Adam Judkins in Maine? I mean, there's never been an Adam Jenkins in my life. And if you look at the changed names, they'll just do it Jenkins. Like, you sure your name's spelled J-U-D? Because when you're controlling it over online, it's easy to do small name changes rather than big ones. But you're still going, guys, okay? Look this up. Randall Judkins. Man, I mean, she must have had 45 of them. You know what's crazy? You can't get any of them because they are all either fraudulent accounts or dead. But if you got a court order stamped by someone who doesn't check the document for authenticity, we're good because you're a notary who can do that. And you all of a sudden get 500 Randall Judkins and you're like, what the fuck, dude? So I looked this up with another guy before too that was having the same problem. And I started to put these things together and figure it out. The bane of the world that fucking takes our security and our privacy, that collects the data, sends those data to the cloud and servers and databases. And then when you buy the data back, dude, like that with a court order, they're like, well, I mean, man, we got like 452 Randall Judkins, but you get them all because, hey, you know, the document says we're good. And if anybody asks for it later on, you know, we'll probably send them to the higher ups and be like, you're telling me that he was already missing when she got the court order and that there was a trust fund, but his name to someone else's and suddenly all of these people are connected to houses all across the country that were like foreclosures and stamped and belong to somebody else, and you can't get a hold of anybody on there. It sounds victimless to me. I mean, if we spell it I-E or A-L or E-Y, E-E-Y, you know, we'll go ahead and give them to you. I mean, if it looks like this guy in Pensacola, Florida, you know, it doesn't matter. He wasn't on there the other day, but here you go. Look, he's got a big old family. Look, all old and about to die. All of them. So you try to get all the people connected to all the houses, connected to all the deeds, connected to all the PPP loans, connected to all the claims and all the wills, and it's all bogus. The Meta is great. Thank you, Meta, for allowing algorithms to show that my aliases, Jenkins, Junkins, Jukins, Jackins, were all somebody just changing my name by a couple of letters and then frauding something in the world while I was either here or just missing. And they typed up an obituary on their own site they made. I mean, he died at home, happy in somebody's arms. Can we get his money now? We used 700 accounts to put it in there, and we did the probate, and nobody contested with the lawyer we knew. And his kid's not old enough yet, but we got him. You guys don't understand this is a widespread thing, and it's terrible. Like I said, I mean, I've looked my dad up lots of times before, and when I got that red flag yesterday, I said, "Hey, Dad, what would it take me to get out to the Philippines? Like, how do people get out there? How did some 35-year-old woman just come here? They would probably want to jack everything you owned and be here, just painting your nails every day and having a great life out there." And he said, "There's military in the streets. You don't make any money. I understand you and your son are in trouble, but like I'm out here just living the ball. And your stepdad, Doug Linders, has to work till he's 85 now. And your other stepdad killed himself, but I got out of there, bud, and good luck. You know what I mean? We just don't have any place for someone like you here." I was like, "Dad, I love you, dude. There's nothing wrong with you. Like, you had a great job and a great career, and you were taken advantage of by the same woman who took advantage of me and my brother. I'm sure my cousin, who supposedly lives in Placerville, that I haven't seen or talked to in years, and now I'm wondering, like, she didn't know when to quit. She's an idiot, really. When you got the same two people that completely are different, my dad and my mom, telling me, we don't have any place, we don't have drugs out here, so you're not going to want to come out here. I'm like, dude, you don't have like 70,000 mobsters trying to kill me for reporting for fraud either, dude. I could fucking care less. I live a fucking so lawful life. I'm telling people in my class the other day that I snitch on people, and they're like, "Are you going to keep doing that, or are you just going to be lying and go to work?" I mean, yeah, you'll be totally fine if you just be quiet and go to work, dude. Just like, so even though I already snitched on 100 people for frauding, dude, I'll be fine if I just stop, dude. So I'm sick of it, you guys. If you look up Cheryl Linders and Doug Linders, they're surely going to change their names and maybe even be Randall Judkins. Okay? And whoever else he marries, you're going to end up with all the money that was funneled that was supposed to go to me and my kids, causing a huge problem with human trafficking, any bigger problem with this kind of thing in the world. And when they come to your neighborhood with it, it's going to be a problem too. So don't tell me it's not everyone's problem. And don't tell me it's a civil matter. But if I steal your truck for $1,000, you get an insurance claim plus the court gets restitution and I get arrested and it's returned to you. That's like triple pay. You sell it again. Well, we'll give that to you for like $400, man. Like we got $12,000 for it twice already. Once for the hail, once for this. The guy's in jail paying back the court, but shouldn't even get that money because it's supposed to go to the victim's fund. You know how much money that is? Sir, who's the victim in this problem? The dead people and the kids that aren't 18. Can you have one of them give us a call? We just can't. Look into this because you're remote and we don't allow emails with documents to be sent. How did you find this information? On the deeds of the houses all the way back. That there was a trust fund for 20 fucking plus years of my family, and that every part of my family has a piece of it. And when I'm learning about wills and probate and everything, and I'm looking at all these laws, and I'm like, what do you mean a trust fund was dissolved? And why wouldn't anyone give me a bank account? And why did my dad contact me after he disappeared, dude? And all of a sudden, hey, I love you, son. You just need to get your life together. And I'm like, Dad, I'm not breaking the law. I'm trying to fucking uphold it. Everyone's breaking it around me, and I can't just be quiet and just go to work because I'm miserable knowing that I'm doomed anyway, and that so are my kids. So every time they lie to me, I get back online and look some more shit that's fucked up, and I'm like, what about my daughter? She goes, we don't give a fuck about your daughter. She's not even named as your kid. Because there's no fucking marriage record, because that one annulled it. She kind of made a mistake doing that, but it doesn't matter because you go with paternity. She annulled it illegally, so I think my mom doesn't want to go near that one. She's a little tougher, but then the guy who's marrying her is from Flagstaff, which is where my brother died. weird coincidence. I mean, it could be a coincidence, you know what I mean? But like, not until like 8 wills and like 10 trusts don't end up coming to you and getting dissolved. I figure like there's a coincidence. You know what I mean? It doesn't take twice. Like the guy living in their house at 680 Ascot Place didn't live in Southern California, and other addresses that are associated with Avaya employees and my mom and my stepdad. And that the dude's ID that was used for the house in California wasn't used for the house in Brentwood to us. That's weird, Mom. The same guy lived with you in California too. She just gets quiet. She's like, get some meds, Dad. One was Will Duran and one was Dan Burrell. It's not even the same. What about your neighbors down the street, the fucking May Ray and the fucking Ray Bay? She's like, I don't know anything about that. They're all grouped on the same identity algorithm of the guy who you know what I mean? It was the last house you were in there, and now the house you're in now. So right next to the house is the like Painted Trail, North Carolina, Atlanta, Charlotte, Northern California. And I see like, oh my God, how much money have you been laundering that you said was stolen? I wonder how many houses I bought or whatever. It doesn't really matter. They've done everything perfect. Because a notary stamp requires no notary stamp on anything but a contract that we don't verify, which are reversals, which cause damages, which if you've separated children, you're guilty of abduction at that point, especially when there was an ulterior motive in it. And it makes perfect sense when you're telling the guy who is the only one in the family that didn't act like the rest of you, that's been on his own every fucking Christmas, struggling, working a job, trying to get married, to have the woman be like, hey, I'm pregnant, I gotta move to California. Hey, I'm pregnant, I can't move to Oregon with you anymore. See, we're in a no-fault state, so we're gonna divorce you here. You know, and even if you're right down the street, we don't know where you were, and we will figure out something for the annulment because the courts don't verify any of that. And you know, you weren't there to contest. We filed the document that said we didn't know you were down the street. Everyone in my family knew where I was the whole time. Every address is online, just like these incidences. So I've gotten even better at it now. I can see that emails that don't make sense to people attached to other emails attached to social media accounts with different people's faces that have the same names. And then you start looking at all these people, and it's an imposter of a ghosting identity theft scam, in which, of course, they look broke because they put the money in someone else's name they control. And it's either got to be someone that's missing or alive or a minor child. But since my cousin is owning his own house, doing great in Placerville, and he sells dogs and weed like a motherfucker, he's a badass, tattooed head to toe, asking for 20 grand for an S2000. Hey guys, could you guys loan me $50,000 so instead of paying me, pay GoFundMe? You know what? Who owns GoFundMe now that I think about it? And his Facebook account's active too, but he ain't on it. He ain't seen his girlfriend for a long time. He had some sort of charges that I never got any answer to. You know why I never got any answer to? Because someone bonded him out. And then he disappeared. And the whole thing was probably a setup. Someone's like, yeah, bro, I'll give you fucking 50 grand to bring me 1 pound of weed, dude. Just tell me what you're driving. Next thing you know, he's got like manufacturing of assault weapons, which I'll tell you, my cousin had a gun or two, but he doesn't manufacture weapons. We just buy a gun if we wanted a gun. That's crazy. Like, what do you mean manufacturing of weapons? And then got him with a child endangerment, and also a motherfucking, just like me or anybody else, he might be a dickhead. I'll tell you, my cousin ain't never put no fucking kid in danger. So these 3 women, Sandy Judkins, who married my dad's brother, old friend of my mom, Cheryl Harvey, who became Linders, that married my dad, and another lady named Lisa Rollins. All 3 of them in San Diego got into real estate and spread out. And then they match all the addresses of all the other houses that come down from all the other guys. switch turns being realtors and switch turns being, notaries, and then get married 4 times each. Bring the kids out with me. You never see them again. Because my cousin Erin went out to Florida. She got a daughter, Jade Judkins. She answered the phone for me the other day. I said, "Hey, it's your cousin, dude. I've been trying to get a hold of your mom forever. What are you doing?" She answered her mom's phone. Why would a child that's not 18 answer her mom's phone? Because she's living with her fucking grandma, Sandy, and David, that say they're church people, and they took Erin's kid. Because last I checked, Erin was a bartender that sold pills. Her father went to jail. Anybody connected to him will never know what happened to her. Rebecca and my dad moved out of Tucson, and suddenly Rebecca was told to be doing great with this other guy, Jimmy Threadgill, and has all these other kids, which seems bizarre. She can be happy. It's bizarre. And I hit her up on Facebook. Sent a video of me dancing my ass off, dude, to her doing like some little quick clip. And I'm like, "How your reaction to this?" Nothing. And then when I hit my dad up on these Facebooks, I'm pretty wild. Dude, I'll do like adult entertainment streams online. Like straight up, I've ended up with almost no job or nothing to do. It's not illegal. So if I like to wear a tail or cosplay or do something like that's fine. I'm not doing anything but by myself, you guys. I've been single for a while since I've been shunned. My phone is keeping people from calling in or out. Apps aren't working unless they're encrypted. I missed work today. Nobody cares. The lawyers that I call can't call me back. And my dad's like, "Oh my God, is that a blood son?" I said, "Yeah, it's a Foxtail. Who cares then?" I'm like, "I like to dance. I have fun, dude. Like, can we just talk? Like, I didn't call you to talk about sexual preference." And my dad was a wild man in the bed. He ain't never gonna complain like that. He would been like, "All right." But the fact was disgusted, like what you're disgusted because I do all adult entertainment. Do you know why hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, thousands, millions of people do adult entertainment? It's because people like you online, they're stealing people's identities and money from people in the world, and you're fucking up the economy so bad. People got to go do that. So it's pretty hard for me to get done. So I do some adult entertainment because I ain't got a girlfriend anymore, and I get to hang out with chicks online and streams that are hella cool. Bullshit with them. It's not legal, so it really doesn't matter. I mean, because you perform sexual acts, you're stealing shit from people, and I, do things online by myself. You can't even bang yourself. Who cares? You got something to think about it? She's like, "Did you paint your toenails?" I'm like, "One of my friends did. I hang out with like a couple lady friends left in my life. Who cares? Isn't a dude allowed to paint his nails? Here, you told me you'd love my son if he was gay. Then what's the problem with if my nails are painted? You go tell people that I had mental health problems because I painted my nails. We let people choose their gender before they're 18, and we from California and left and liberal, but now we're going to talk shit to our son who we were appalled at if he acted like that growing up. We didn't teach in our family to be like that." So I'm like, "Yeah, I've been dancing, doing adult streams, you know what I mean, making money. What's wrong with that, dude? I'm not breaking law, I'm not going out. I'm not stealing from anyone, I don't have a girlfriend. It's pretty lonely, dude." He's like, starts acting weird. "Check out all these pictures. Check out how I hit you up 6 months ago on Christmas to say, hey, look at me, and these photos are photoshopped. And most of the pictures deleted out of my phone already. But it doesn't matter. Nobody on this god green planet could find my father to prove me fucking wrong. And there ain't nobody who wants to investigate anything that I tell you about because you will waste your fucking time. And it'll be long gone before you figure out what I know." I was looking up somebody who was involved in loan fraud recently too, and I get on these PPP loans group connected to their PPP loan. Their PPP loan was the smallest one for $5,600, but every other PPP loan was somebody else around them, and not one of those could you locate the actual business on the empty lots from a person that said they collected data for marketing campaign solutions that provided voters registrations of tax record places and properties that were empty, and everyone but that one I checked into was forgiven. As somebody who was hiding in a house with no power, okay, and no running water, so they could go down to the library and commit notary fraud on remote notaries. They would tell me that their notary was suddenly missing, and the map to grant deed on the table was, you know what I mean, a legal heir piece of property they got, and it was okay for them to do that. You can be the grantor, the grantee, the heir, and the notary if you go to the library, and it's not just you. You know, the people were dead, and you passed the date back. My mom liked to go to old people's homes and say how much she liked old people. The Rotary Club in Cameron Park. Rich families surround themselves with that place, preying on the people that go to the country club. Let's all have a good little get together event for this guy over here that died recently, while they know who their kids are, the houses that are empty that they go over to pretend like they're working for the dogs. And I thought you're not supposed to be going in and out of old people's homes and stuff like that if you don't work there. And yet my mom's telling me how she did a medical transport business, which bankrupted like everything else, and yet with the trust funds and the houses. Trust funds dissolve all the time during divorces, son. Like, wow. When I mentioned they had divorce records online that were open from that court, it disappeared offline. Now that I've mentioned been verified, that'll go somewhere else. The bottom line is, though, they might have somebody down at the office that throws the new deed away or not. It doesn't really matter. The data is collected on hundreds of companies. In order for you to opt out of the data collected, you better go to 117 been verified, be there verified, be on verified, because verified, just like the dumbass names of all the fucking places you swapped over. And think that I don't know that y'all trying to move in on me. I've never seen demons so scared in my life of me. It actually feels good. I said, wait, no, I'm proud of who I am. I can see algorithms on the screen like the guys on the Matrix can see that's the lady in the red dress. There's the dog. People are like, what are you looking at? See these 15 aliases here that are connected to these 15 addresses that this person has here? Well, this person says they've only lived in one place before, but it's not true because they have 15 emails and none of them are under their name. And it looks odd. Like, it's just weird. These places are just stupid. They just collect information from where, no, they don't. They collect information from your devices, your emails, your preferred networks, your locations, the websites. Dude, they are good. Algorithms are good because they're the only thing that doesn't lie. So what I got was the whole world wasn't secure and private. And as I started to dig into the information that was exposed and then sold back to us, um, mind you, it's worth every penny. You could see trends in housing markets. You could see trends in loans. You could see trends in fake identities and where the money goes right into the trust funds, and then who's got the liens on them, what businesses they work for, who their associates are, because they're dumb, because they use Facebook and LinkedIn and think, hey, every time I get online, I put that Secretary of the State information in from the same place and the same, it groups the businesses together. I'm looking at this chick going, dude, those PPP loans are serious, dude. Like, this is like an FBI level shit. Like, these are like 15 fraudulent loans that are surrounded by your shield. Yeah, mine was forgiven, though. I said, so why was it forgiven? You said you did it. Yeah, I got a PPP loan for $5,000. Well, why would it be forgiven? You claimed your business was out money and needed the corona relief money. I realized I didn't need the money. I told them, you know what I mean? I spent it. Can you guys believe it? They're like, you don't owe us anything, man. They were all forgiven because the government realized that it was identity theft or something of the sort. And here I'm reporting these people right to the police, and the police are like, well, do they have any money now? How do you know the other ones are fraudulent? because they're all delinquent businesses on the Secretary of the website state that you can change for $2. Use that to press I'm a real person. Why notarize a business change? We don't got time for that down at City Hall. Right now, you can go online and you can get yourself a business for $2. Okay, and then you can go ahead and get on the IRS site and find 3 employees that work full-time W-2. You get up to 60,000 an employee, and like that was put out there on like a big fun level, and if people aren't going to use it, you know what I'm saying? So I might as well. Like if I buy the business now and wasn't the owner in 2021, well, I'm still owed the money, just like I'm owed liability. So it was a legal transaction, and I stamped it myself, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't authentic. Those were my employees that crashed in a car and died or something there, or somebody else who took over. And she's like looking at me. I said, I went around and I looked, and all 9 of these businesses that are forgiven, they're grouped with you. I said, because of your area you're in. She's like, well, what do you mean? I said, because you use the same encrypted laptop that you won't plug in at your house, at the library you went to every single day where you did your fucking notaries, on the same network, on the same website. And let's go like this. Algorithm. And I'm way smarter than the average bear. And when I started to get into forensic accounting, I don't spend time going after the documents. I don't have to go after the documents. I spent times hunting digital footprints. I don't need to have an account with your name. I don't need to follow you, record you. I don't need to hack your phone. Nothing. I start with your house you own, the property that you own, and I go from there. It starts to name the associates and everything else. And I can see right there. If you click an image now with Google Lens, even the Google Lens pulls all the information that people don't know is in the image out, and it'll group a bunch of images. So if you type Adam Judkins, for example, okay, and you get 15 of me, and then one at like the top that's like Daniel Judkins, and you're like, that's weird. You know what I mean? I've never seen a Daniel Judkins ever before I searched myself. But then you look him up, and he's like some high-tech holding company, like representative for Finland marketing. And it's all money that was sent out there to some company, and it's guaranteed to somebody else's name. You know why? Because you're going to change your name to that. So, for example, I found a Finland company that's laundering the money from the trust funds. And I found a lady named Lindros that's in the company that was right next to my mom's pictures. You know why? Because she made the account on the same computer in the same place. She probably did the fucking transactions through. Because you're like, you know, like, look, honey, we don't even need to go there to change our names. I mean, no, said they'll do it. We just need to put. It said 12 people are involved in that holding company, and I don't believe any one of them were people who live there holding their funds that are crooks. Are you going to send the Chinese mob $12 million just over here and be like, just hold it for me, guys? We're Americans. We'll be there. We're not gangsters. We're white collar punk class criminals. We're just gonna fucking have no, dude. They'll rob you blind because there's actually Interpol and shit like that, and that type of thing. You're not supposed to do it. It's an international crime. It ain't just a federal crime. It's national. You're a domestic terrorist. They're just getting ready to steal somebody's fucking kid. Bounce. That's sick. And I'm over here asking people for help, and they told me to go get meds. And you're just not a very nice guy. You should quit bothering them about it. You don't worry about your kids neither, because they're not your problem. And we heard you don't care about them anyways. Why? Because I can't get anywhere near them, nor would I try without anything legal to back me up. I will sign anything I have to sign for assistance legally. 70, 90% contingency for what I'm going after. If somebody's got some balls, and it is more than you could possibly imagine. It's the whole thing. It's reversals on everything. It's It's complete frozening their entire lives. It's sending Interpol after them in fucking Finland. I always wanted a cabin in the woods so we could bury everyone out there and then not use the business that we wanted the money through to go to Finland. I was wondering why the divorce online in Georgia had explained that Doug had a partner working with him at the, what is it? It's something river retreat in Norfolk, Arkansas. And he's over there testifying on my mom's behalf in the divorce, like saying that they were friends since, when I looked into him, they were friends since uh, way back, since they were in the Navy together. So what does he do? He starts working with him and his wife, and then ends up on his wife's side. Where's his wife? Can't find her. She was supposedly a partner out there too. And I don't know about that other guy either now, because after they got done with the divorce, I'm sure he's gone now to live in the middle of nowhere. My little sister Morgan, I haven't been able to get a hold of for 20 years. I see her pop up on a dress the other day. It's connected to a place in Southern California. That's bizarre. By Santa Barbara. Okay, it's bizarre. It's like some human trafficking shit. It's connected to something attached to the house that has these white collar nerds online talking about doing these little like it's crazy. They're doing these like pod streams where they're talking about medical and health technology. If something happened to my little sister Morgan, dude, or my little sister Madison, or any motherfucking buddy of my kids, dude, like it doesn't even matter. I'm stopping these people. Morgan Linders, you guys, she's like 21 years old. She's from Brentwood, California. She's never had a digital footprint. Not only that, but Doug as well. And when Doug had disappeared after the divorce and stuff, I had gotten concerned because I don't care about anybody, right? That my stepdad might have been hurt. Like, what do you mean you got a resort out there and it doesn't operate? Nobody picks up the phone, blah, blah, blah. I had to call him and say I wanted to make an investment on some other bullshit. He called me back. I said, "How I tricked you? What's going on, dude?" "Nothing's going on, dude. I don't want to talk about it." Click. I'm like, "Where's Morgan?" Click. Call his brother, tricked his brother out and tricked, "What's up? Hey, where's your brother at, man? You're sitting on a trust fund. He's sitting on a trust fund. Kids are disappearing. What's going on, dude?" I'll tell him you're concerned, man, but I just can't give you his number. I know you're just concerned about his safety, but, maybe you're tricking me again. His name's Stephen Winters, who lives in Trace, California, supposedly, which is right next to my uncle Richard Hartley, who lives with Carly, who supposedly lives with her parents and has for the last 20 years. I don't think her parents are alive anymore. He stopped working for Pepsi for a long time. John Biala or something like that. They're on the trust from like Bay Area, Tracy to there. Every time I call him, he picks right up. "What's going on?" I'm like, my mom's doing some terrible things, dude, and you guys like don't talk anymore. So like, maybe you could give me some advice or help me out. He's like, "Yeah, but what's up?" I'm like, "There's a ton of money in the family being stolen in the trust funds. You're sitting on one, she's sitting on one, my other uncles are sitting on one, and nobody will answer or talk to me except for you." And he's like, "I don't know." "Well, why do you answer your dad's phone every time I call? Like you're sitting like, yes, this is John Bialia. I'm 90 years old. How can I help? I'll send my son down." They made a comment to tell me him and his wife watched my mother very close. Weird. I'm like, "Grandma, dude, when this last grandpa died, why didn't you put me in the will?" "Oh, because you were hanging out there with us. You lived there, Sally. We put his adopted daughter in there for the dollar, though. And have that other family getting the money because we weren't going to keep an eye on her." I'm like, "Dude, that's fucked up. You got an insurance claim for the other dad, too, that you sold the motherfucking shit for some money and got a house from your friend, the realtor, remember? He died from a drunk driving accident." She goes, It was blunt force trauma, actually. But you're right. He had like a 3.5% blood alcohol level. But we had to get the claims by the house with my friend, the realtor. Then you look up Lisa Rollins. Lisa Rollins got a house in Thousand Oaks. You can't hide this shit now. They can hide it from one site, but the records are still all there. They can't hide it from 127 sites. Doug Lenders, you'll be a busy man. Opting out of personal data collections that you're still going to continue to pile up wherever you go in your life. And now I know exactly where you guys are going. It doesn't matter. You know what I want to do? I want to call some gangsters in Finland and say, hey, you guys got some real bastards coming out there. This is who they are and this is where their money's at. And guess what's going to happen to you guys, dude? All your money's going to Finland because, again, it's stolen. So it'd be taken for investigation, right? You guys have to like 5 o'clock tomorrow to fucking turn yourself in. I'm not going to take a bribe or anything. I'm going to roast you guys online here. You think this is funny? Making someone go nuts. You could never break me because I'm not nuts. And you know what? Already contacted them. All of them too. I did every email connected. And those emails could be all your guys' connected, but it doesn't really matter because, you know, it looks like you guys snitched on everybody. And now the group will start falling apart. And we'll see how few of y'all make it there. I mean, you've been funneling it down to nobody as it is in the family. You can imagine all the families put together. They're like this now. There's only 12 of us left, man. We're going to be filthy rich. All you got to do is get to Finland with our new identities. You still look like you look like. Your money's still coming out of that account. You still need legal transactions there. Any Americans moved here recently? And yeah. Have you spent a lot of money recently? Yeah. It's easy. I can just look at the housing market in Finland right after y'all get there and I'll see the same trends you guys have here. It's over, motherfuckers, for you because I have gone out of my way to make sure the prosecutors know that they're in trouble. The judges that signed off on the probates. It says here that you checked it, Mr. Lerner. So you looked into this? Yep. I looked into it. It looked good. 97 times straight. It looked good. The stamp was always filled with ink. So we've got Cheryl Lenders, Douglas Lenders. They're controlling the money in divorced. White River, Arkansas, at the White River Resort. That isn't operating. It's probably an Epstein property. You should see it. It's a fucking giant couple mansions, okay? And all this property right in the middle of nowhere. How are you going to start a bed and breakfast in the middle of nowhere that has no customers? You're going to invite them out there and you're going to snuff them. There's nobody out there to hear you. Traffic children out there and shit. It's ridiculous. And I'm sure that website's going to go down any day too because I have fucked them up. And it just shows more and more and more what I'm saying. Where did he go? You were in business there. I seen all the pictures of you guys having a good old time fishing. It's probably the 12 guys that are on that list for Finland, and they probably all have a name with a last name that's similar to the one they're transferring because all you had to do is go put the money in your name and then come up with a notary book. And when you're doing a notary on the other side, you can upload a digital document online of the fraudulent book that's going to collect your funds on the other identity and you'll never get caught with it. And it's online on Google Docs anyways under her account that you have encrypted and nobody's going to be able to get into that. And so the police are like, well, we just don't know what to do here. Freeze the account, offer them a couple years off of 7,000 years and see what happens. Tell them they'll spare their fucking great-great-great-great-grandchild. And you think someone that, you know, I mean, shoots a person or shoots himself, it's like over people like this. I don't know why that guy went in there and did what he did. Because probably every employee was crooked or something. You can't convince the people to just go shoot up innocent people. That whole organization, it seems innocent. It can't be. People don't just walk down the street and decide they have rabies and just go ham. It's not like that. Then we say they're crazy, and we never even question them or interview them, and they're like Robert Deere out here who shot up Planned Parenthood. Why would somebody go shoot Planned Parenthood up? Because he was brainwashed by somebody to tell him, hey, they're killing people, dude. Take some more drugs. Look, I'm killing people, dude. We'll show everyone that video of you having sex with those kids, man. You better go do it. So at least when you die, we won't have to show the video after the fact and ruin your reputation still. And then say they want to force medicate him because he won't take medication after they buried him in a mental hospital for shooting a Planned Parenthood. Nobody explains what happened. We want the psycho alive. Like, what do you mean? He's a junior. We need him alive. We gotta talk to him. Nobody ever got an explanation. You look at the other connections out here. You've got the owners of the Specialty Sports and Guns right here, Specialty Sports and Supply in Colorado Springs. They sold a gun to Devin Kelly, claiming they didn't know he had a domestic violence background. He passed the test for gun. And they got it investigated because the guy shot up the motherfucking Planned Parenthood, not the church in Texas where he killed 25 people and shot 50 people. Finally, somebody shot him. What the fuck, dude, did you guys do to that dude? Did he find out that was where you all fucking went and retired or something? That's bizarre, dude. And then you've got the builders out here like Majestic Homes from Texas that are convincing investors to invest monies in those homes that just got abandoned. And nobody's in the office, and the one girl you call doesn't answer. My phone's forwarded right now to when I try to make a phone call. And this is a lifetime service. It's forwarded to go to an answering service that somebody else is in control, and then it's not my phone service. The more somebody lies to me, the more I look and the more determined I got. I was basically like, look, Mom, look, I don't agree with you. We've never really been friends. I don't know why you hate me my whole life. I mean, I just, I had a mind of my own when I was a kid. That was about it. But, telling me that she was broke. She was telling me that I owed her money. That I owe her money. How you stay with me after you're 18 and bought your car? You owe me money. Those are during all of this fraud that she's committing, and if I owe her money, she probably thinks from my dad, just like she thinks my son was from my dad, and why she's not worried about those kids. She's like, oh, I'm a pro at what I do. Anybody could end up having them, but I'll just infiltrate their life or pretend to be them. It doesn't really matter. I know all the tricks to make it not go in my name and get what I want, control funds in somebody's name. There's guaranteed funds in Adam Judkins' name. Maybe even possibly my brother Ryan Judkins' name. But I was thinking after he died and Jeremiah disappeared, where does that leave left? My little sister got sent to a psychotic institution for like 3 weeks. She was a sheriff, Madison, Grace, Pearson, Lindrews, fucking Alberts. Married a Marine, hella young, divorced him super quick. She's telling me one time how mad she was at my mother for her father being pushed out by her. And I said, Maddie, your dad was in the hot tub at my dad and mom's place, dude, when he left, before he was her husband. He used to whip my ass, dude. What the fuck? What kind of comment is that? Your dad was an asshole, dude. Like, I'm sorry to tell you, but he used to beat my ass. And I was like 11 or 12 years old because my dad punked him out and he stole my mom from him. And then it sounds like he killed himself now. And you're sad that mommy pushed them away and put you in a mental institution and you became a sheriff, got removed from the sheriff's department in North Carolina or South Carolina. There's lawsuits or case numbers. Can't figure out what she did. So whatever she did was heinous enough to fucking remove her badge and keep her paid so that she stayed quiet. Why couldn't they be more like her? Or more like the match maybe Morgan might be for where the fuck she went. That thing's connected to a healthcare center. I have everything, the history, everything. It's like nobody wants to help, but I've got it all. I put it all up in the cloud. Somebody backed it up too, by the way, under my emails. So all of a sudden, There was a backup created on Google Cloud under one of my connected emails to this phone. You think I don't notice that shit? Where all my images go? You backed them up for me on the Google server. Thank you. Think I give a fuck about the ones where I'm playing with my cock online? It's not illegal, dude. I'm mad because I dance better than you. I'm creative still. You guys let people choose their fucking gender and shit and their sexual preference before you let them drink, drive, and make decisions and other things, but you're worried about what I'm doing as an adult because suddenly I put a threat and, called in and said, hey, what happened to that trust fund? Because I seen something on my kid and I don't like it. Because I told my mom to stay away from my kid. She went around me to go to my kid. Then keeps me away. My brother said, stay away from my kid, Mom. She went around and stayed his kid. As soon as he died and that trust fund was paid out to him, whatever it was, I tried to call the attorneys there. They don't call me back. Hey, my brother died from a drug overdose. Why did he get a life insurance policy? Did he even know about it? Did he sign anything? They told me right there, I have a life insurance policy. It's an irrevocable one, by the way, with a lot of money in it. They could have already been or been not moved. But see, that one, they're probably waiting until I die. There's a life insurance policy. There's a trust fund in my name. I own houses, probably. I might own property in Finland. It doesn't matter. I'm rich, you guys. I'm worth saving to save children because I would start the best private investigation firm ever. And I'd be like, Google, don't ever stop collecting people's data because you respect their privacy because we would have never caught these bastards. Look up Elmer Jones on Royal Drive in Colorado Springs, Colorado. There's like 800 Elmer Jones too. They did the same thing. He was in this lady's house talking about, I don't know why she has all these phones in my name, but I only have this one. Okay, bro. I don't know how my accounts are fraudulent. I don't drive a car and I sit in this house every day and let every drug addict move on me. Elmer Jones, Royal Drive. Weird guy named David lives with him too, and you know what he keeps? His laptop with his encrypted data. Why do people need to be walking around with shit under their arm with Python and CaliX? So you know what I did? I pissed off a group of people in fucking Washington that stole my identity. And I grouped off of people in Idaho that stole my identity. Then I did it again in Vegas. Then I did it again in Colorado. Then I did it again with everybody. And I gave them my identity. They were like, this dude's crazy, dude. Because I'm like, here, just take my social security number and my fucking blah, 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 dude. Here's my card. Here's my driver's license. Oops. Stupid motherfuckers. I've been doing it for fucking years, dude. Because I learned a long time ago when you try to get people busted for this stuff, they're in with the cops and everyone else. So when they're like thinking, what is this guy saying? We need to look into it. And then they go ask the person's probably like, you bought that house from us and here's another million. Just can't you charge them with something? But now I have legitimately felt bad for doing that because my son is in the loop of it. However, I thought that maybe by now somebody would do something reasonable, but it doesn't matter. I knew she stole my identity a long time ago, my own mother. And I knew it was my father and my brother too when I started to see the things like the Facebook account and stuff. Okay. And then I just know it further. Like, I'm amazed Doug is still alive. And again, Doug hasn't talked to me recently. My mom went back out there recently. And every time you start looking into this stuff, the people are military trained. They definitely are killers, okay? And then when my mom's pretending to be my dad on the Facebook account, she says, you will never beat your mother. Just get over it, son. Get some help. Take some medicine. Go back to work because you can't make it out here in the Philippines where I'm at, dude, because we don't need people like you, but people like me are the same, but I'm here. And right there, I was like, oh. She said she sold her soul to the devil years ago and you won't win. I'll tell you right now, I do win because I already won. I literally was like this, dude, when I was pissing off the people before I came out here. I said, My name is Adam Judkins, and I come from a military family that has huge estates and attorneys like Clyde Judkins out of Anaheim, California, that left behind a huge sum of money. And my uncles are military, Greg Judkins and fucking Richard Hartley Jr., and they live in Tracy on, this street, and Phoenix on this street. And here's their kids' names, and here's my kids' names. You won't touch my kids, and here's my wife's names, and here's my mother and my stepdad's name and my sister's name. I said, they're badasses. They will fuck you guys up if you come after our family, dude. Pay the fucking dues you need to pay on this shit and knock it off. I come from a really highly trained, intelligent fucking family. It does what you do, motherfucker, and guess what? I'm not any of you. So you know what I did? I'll travel around, dude, and I pitted you all against each other. Because each time I did something, it doesn't look like I did it, and you guys did it, and I never made a dime. And then I made you guys face each other, so I was like, no matter what. It's like the end of a poetic movie, like the FBI tactics. I didn't have to do anything or even spend any money to do it. All I did was get online, search for the information, make it worthwhile. They'd go find a job. As soon as I found out they were fraudulent, I'd rub them the wrong way. I purposely tell them I was so interested in the job and how good it was going to be, and then I would go in there and record things they did, and then report them at the same time. And then I would tell the other family members certain things the other family members didn't want to know. And I know when I know they have doctors' offices and car places that everything in their mom is all connected. All the way down to the drugs that get sold, guys. They get sold by the white-collar folks that fucking have no records, that fucking traffic your children for the money they sell the real estate market. And the states set them up so that they're able to do that. And that's why they keep us around. And when I realized the other day that they knew I wasn't going to stop being ethical, I just looked in this guy's face. He was like, you're going to die, dude. I was like, you're going to be fucked over and go to hell, dude. Fuck you. It doesn't matter. I was going to die anyway. I was like, well, fuck that, dude. This is wrong. It is what it is. I said, dude, they can't even send me to jail, man, because like I'm not even breaking any laws. So identity theft is victimless, like you guys said. So you can't even set that up. And I stay in my room all day and I play with myself on camera to make money because I got no other options, dude. I want to see chicks naked too, and I'm bored and lonely. And I need to pay my rent. So I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I'm like, you got a wife, dude, and she's going to take advantage of you. No wonder my second marriage was annulled. In fact, I wondered if Michaela even knows that. I mean, she's getting married again. She has to. See what a setup things are. Like, hey, Michaela, I'm back in Colorado Springs. If you need anything at all right down the street, I know you don't want me around the kids because they're worth money, but hey, congrats on your new marriage, blah, blah, blah. Block. I'm like, is she okay? Where's Jesse that was with her? Can't get a hold of him. Oh, buddy, you guys, he was my friend for years. Where the fuck is he? I call my cousin dead cousin. We all got robbed for millions of dollars, dude, from these people in our family. Want to team up, dude. Even when we don't like each other, we kick our ass later, dude. Fuck you, block. My little sister, too. I would love to get a hold of Madison Linders and or Pearson or Alberts or whatever she is and actually do something about this. Then I wonder who Tyler Alberts is, the guy that she was with before, because why is she so fucked up? What did they do to her? And Morgan. Why have I never talked to my sister for 21 years? I'm like, hey, I get my sister's number to call her now. To not have you in her life. We're teaching her to be groomed to go marry somebody in another place, which is probably why she's down so careful or getting trafficked or something. Something's weird about Morgan Lindros. Morgan Rose Lindros, 21 years old. Can't find her. And Doug is a savage online, but I'm still better. He spent all these years to like learn how to leave trails of algorithms that cost him emails with confessions and all the details and the map information of the fucking shit show he left that points right to him. It looks like your friend sent it because he was scared you were going to kill him because you were fucking his wife and she was going to snitch on you. There's a big blackmail thing going on. And then the other guys over on the other side are pissed at me now, and they just want revenge. So look, they're like, oh, this family's got so much money, but they are badasses. So good luck. But you know what? These guys are maniacs out here too. Same thing. Maniacs. We're not safe, my friends. It is an economic destruction, like collapse of the world as we know it, guys. And it's epic proportions that's been going on for years. And it's the same thing I did when I pissed off that family out there in Washington that didn't want to be listed, the moving company owner of Miracle Man Movers. Annabelle, let me think of their names. Christopher. Dad, you started to look them up, right? I started to look them up like I do everyone. And they're like, why do you look us up? Because you guys are weird. Because you end up being like a child fucking hospital ex-pediatric nurse. And now you're a fucking sheriff with no training and you're a detective. What the fuck? It does not look like ketamine or watered over overdose here. This is definitely a normal cause of death. We're just not going to investigate. Look at Ryan Sabin or Ryan Tabin. Then what they do is they misspell names. And these kids get killed. Look at Glenwood Springs with the kids on the rides. Don't off the rides. Ryan Sabin and Tara Tabin were connected to Tessa and like 5 or 6 adopted kids, which they trade to kids from China. And if you look at Mr. fucking Christoph Kleb, that's spelled numerous different ways, that was military with his wife. She started with a V. With all these shares, he built a holding company called Investec as an architect, as he was fucking super smart, and he blew his brains out of his fan. There was 5 adopted kids that were dwarf amputees from China. Well, 1, they're cheap. 2, we get rid of our kids that we can bring back later if we want to. And we go meet at the fucking cabin in White River Resort, Arkansas. A bunch of sick bastards. And I call my stepdad. And he's like, hello, how can I help you? What are you doing, dude? He's like, I'm on a plane. What's going on with the bed and breakfast that you never rent out, dude? It's way out there in the middle of nowhere. Epstein level shit. It really doesn't matter what they do to me because, like, God tells us we're going to suffer on earth, but it's a short period of time. And if you hold your ground, you're in heaven. I don't care if they try to put me in a mental institution or fucking hell. Anywhere, I'm not going to hell. It doesn't matter. I don't care if they send me to jail or prison. It doesn't matter. You know, I could write letters from there for the rest of my life. I've already notified enough people to where every criminal organization wants to waste the other one out and thinks that they're stepping on their property. And guess what property? I try to tell my mom. I said, you know, that kid's on their jurisdiction, stupid. I said, why don't you get him over there to you or something? That's all I asked. Just convince his mom, be like, you know what, Adam's right, hon. We should get you guys out of there because she did buy a house from them. And they're going to take it back from you along with him if something happens to you. We'd rather you come over here so we could take you. And that's really what it is. They have no interest in Cassidy. That's... You know, they end up at the same dentist. You read these blogs up here in Colorado Springs about dentists drugging people. And then now I'm seeing little kids and stuff who woke up. You could read these blogs online. You cannot get rid of, get hold of the person who wrote it. The girl from like Berkeley in Northern California that shit on the ZDX and Trax maps. Said these are scientific junk. She's a message machine where you can leave messages all day long, but she's not going to help anybody who needs to understand that it's scientific junk because there's multiple devices logged in multiple accounts that can be all types of, you know, clone phones and ghost second lines. And what happens is they know how to mask their location, then you don't. And they do things smart. They're like, do you want to come out here and visit for a couple of days? And then when you go out there and visit for a couple of days, some things get changed around in the legal process. And so you were there when it happened, probably eating right next to the courthouse. They're real calculating. That's why it's hard for them with me, okay? Because when I started doing this, I started dumping phones and phone numbers off on a regular basis. I started dumping fucking emails on a regular basis. I started changing accounts constantly, moving around constantly, not keeping. I started keeping my digital footprint down. And when I was telling this lady the other day, I looked her up just to see like what kind of shit she was into. I was actually impressed with her, but she didn't fit the role that she was working as my PO. I said, you fucking went to Ledyard High, Temple University, have a double fucking psychology degree, a master's in motherfucking criminal justice, and worked for the ATF. And she goes, no. You know what that means to me when she said that? You guys, her dad's an Olympic volleyball player, Quinn Duelius. And when I looked her up, her whole demeanor changed. And she was sure she wasn't in the ATF of past when I asked her that. It was sincere, and I was like, well, the reason I don't commit crimes, ma'am, is because you know your digital footprint's real big online. And that's why I look people up. And if I do report like a review, I don't put my real name on it. They can find you right through the Google system that way, and it's got to be a throwaway. And she's like, I said, your digital footprint is huge. I was actually impressed and going to talk to her because I was like, you used to buy evidence that was fucking being collected for lawsuits as that person, but now you're a PO. I was like, and when she did that and said I looked her up today, she called dude German Bandlos, the dude I go to the classes at, and he goes, tried to fucking get me to stop doing what I was doing. And I said, dude, I look everyone up, bro. I'm a private investigator, bro. I look at fraud, and I look at you guys in these positions of authority that milk us like this every day, dude, and tell us we can't use our insurance for your HIPAA protected class, but then need an authorization to get your HIPAA payment while you do cash. Just tell me I should just keep my head down, and that she didn't want to drop me from a level C, but you did. But the high ups needed to approve what you were going to do yourself, but you were going to do it anyway, and just get me out sooner and not make me pay, and then give me one receipt after 9 classes and say, hey, well, you paid cash, so here's your receipt for this one. But we're not going to give you a receipt for a medical claim we made, and we tell you you take 36 classes since Focus on the Family got out here, and we have to arrest and put a restraining order into place for a notarized statement that's no good, and then we divide the family that we sold the house to because they have one argument, which I swear is like something prone up here to do that. And that makes me think what I know right now already. Quindrelius is not her, guys, because she wasn't intelligent. It didn't seem like her dad was an Olympic volleyball player, and she was definitely a fencing champion as well. And this girl didn't look like any of that. So, if something happened to Rich, Mr. Olympic volleyball champion father, who's loaded and has a daughter that's in a secret society, she made it about as far as the secret society, and then maybe the ATF fucking internship, and then gone. I'm like, why wouldn't you work for the ATF? Man, you are. I said, you're way too overqualified for this. How do you know this? She said, you just type your name in all of them. She's like, I'm concerned about that you don't look like the fucking girl, that they picked one that fit in her place and just trained you to be what? A desk jockey. Will put you in probation. It's really easy. You just gotta watch the people we're using. I'm really concerned about Mr. Jenkins looking me up, even though he said that he doesn't do anything illegal. He's going to all of his classes, you know what I mean? Why would he do that? Well, ma'am, he is crazy because he believes the whole organization's crooked out here, and he's exposed a bunch of people that we put him in that spot to keep him quiet, but he won't stay quiet, and we don't know what to do with him because, like, I walk around as big. I want that house there. I want that house there. I just go key my way in. It's not a criminal matter. Fabricate that I fixed the house. Walk out with a big old loan quick. Dude, it's funny. These buy your inheritance plans, dude, are like same day. I'm going nuts on it tomorrow. I'm gonna call some of the casino owners at like the Indian reservation. Like, hey guys, is this the Hells Angels? Is this Sugar Bee of the Crip 39 block? You guys want 10 million for 100,000? So my grandma said she saw my little sister Madison the other day, who came to visit her, which is weird. She said she never really talks to Madison, and she was hurt by my mother for putting her into a home for 3 weeks. I was like, dude, it's a 32, a 36-hour evaluation. Like, I made it out of those before, no problem, dude. Just sit down, read a book, and be nice to people when you're on your way. That's disturbing. When did she do that to my little sister? And what happened to her there? What if it wasn't an actual place that does that? And then my grandma keeps telling me how she can't afford to come visit me, but she's going to visit some other friend in Las Vegas. And then she's like, your mother wanted me to come out to the cabin, but I didn't feel good about it. I told her no. I said, you probably just avoided death. My grandma's real scared and pretends all godly too, because check it out. She's 83 and she taught me how to stand up and be honest, like they teach people to do honest things, stand up for people who are really proud of you. And then I'm like, hey grandma, there's these people stealing all this money. I'm trying to stand up to them. And she's like, I'm not getting involved. I'm like, it involves my son. And like literally, like you say you love me all these years. Like its actions speak louder than words. I'm like, you're 83, grandma. What are you trying to do? Live till you're 103? Crazy. What the fuck? You know? She's like, me and our friend from San Diego, the other one that is also all from San Diego, moved to San Diego, Santa Barbara, the apartments with her in Kernersville, North Carolina. Who Madison's, for some reason, my little sister moved out there and got herself in trouble as a trailer so they could live at an old folks senior citizen community. Just like my mom was doing stuff over here. They've been scouting people for years. Guaranteed at that senior citizen. She's like, me and Margie are great. We've known each other our whole lives. We're really young. We run around, places and try to sleep with children and then turn into old people. Because she's like, nobody in this place has the energy we have, and they're all just falling apart. Why did you move there? And then why did my little sister move right around the corner? Why are there houses in Mooresville that are connected to the stream of purchases that were so-called foreclosures that were mapped to grant deeds stamped by an inside notary and then laundered through the same trust funds that were kept from everybody and the kids are being taken? So I could go to work and keep working until they used it up, because the bottom line is they might have dissolved that trust fund the other day and I don't have every detail, from Cheryl Linders and motherfucking Doug Linders to Adam Judkins and who knows who the fuck else, so that at some point I could disappear and they could end up being Doug Judkins and motherfucking the other person that's named Linders out there in the company that they work for. It's weird. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? What if it's Morgan? It started with an M and it was like a holding company in Finland. Or what if it's not? Why is she going to pop up at a Santa Barbara address the other day hooked up to a medical supply company that I have an idea of how to inspect on developer mode IP addresses and look people's information up. So I click on the site and everything in the house, and I find this lien on the properties, and boom, I'm on this live stream watching these guys talk about medical technology, and how important it is that it gets better in the world, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like thinking, no way, dude. I'm all typing to him, and I'm all, why the fuck is my little sister's name connected to a house with your fucking information? It shows clearly on that fucking site. It has a secure portal where you can hop over into that, log into it, all types of shit. And they're like white collar nerds. They're like sitting in chairs talking about their fucking, and they won't answer it. They won't look at it. They act like they have people in the audience at the room they're in asking questions while they're just sitting at this TV talking about medical shit. And I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on, dude? I'm like, my buddy Adam died out here supposedly with a drug overdose after he was separated from his kids by this court system. Adam Greer. I pick him up from jail and he dies in a porta potty, from what I'm told. Maurice Cole had kids. He got shot in a parking lot by Montel Ritz in Pinellas Park, Florida, died. He was working for me just like Adam was. We ran moving companies, which were getting annihilated. Sean O'Grady, Adam's uncle, stepped out of a moving U-Haul truck, got gunned down by another car. Pow. We were there when O'Grady's moving. D10 moving was run by Xavier Hughley, who was run out of business, and it was owned by a military guy, Patrick or something. I don't know, that was his brother than me, but here he's in prison in Buckeye, and the business is back in the owner's hand. And I'm like, hey, you guys need people to work for you? You know what he said? Nothing. But he's still in business. He's kept that number forever. And all he did was swap out for a little while. So he gave the company to Xavier, who was paying for it the whole time too, and it just ended up back in his hands. How do you lease to own a house or lease to own a business? Isn't that kind of a scam if you're like, hey, you're technically the owner because I'm selling it to you, but if you don't pay it off, then I get it back? Here's a whole business number that I've had for 7 years. Just go ahead and take care of it and swoop right back in to get it. It not be sold. You can't sell it. You can't. Then he was having them pay for the mailing list, which the mailing lists were information of people that they got from voter registration and saved information from these sites that they would buy off of somebody in another country, would sell them the fucking mass amounts, and they would hand mail letters, by the way. They wouldn't email them. They'd get to the houses, and then people would call them, asking them to move, and then who knows how he got all of his jobs. I don't remember doing many quotes for Xavier, so maybe they were bait and switching people because most of the jobs we got there, he'd be like, oops, I kept their deposit, or charge him insane amounts of money, and I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck, dude? Being greedy, then being on drugs. Then, of course, he had a business here, and he put like $100,000 in the bank for his 2 kids. Oops. When you acquire something, and run a business, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to buy a house, and then your wife's going to beat it. See, my women were stupid because I don't know what they were thinking to begin with, unless they got offered something up front. But now I don't even trust apps or anything anymore. I think the 3 women that came into my life out here, I think they were hitting me up. And I'm really frankly worried about Michaela and the new guy who's supposedly marrying her. Why don't I have any contact again? When we met, she's a lot younger than me. She's like 22 and I'm 35. And it was a flame that turned into a relationship where her friend come over to have sex with us all the time too. Her friend had a boy named Mason, Cheyenne Carmona, that father was shot and killed out here as well, like everybody else, for apparently robbing somebody he didn't rob. Unfortunate. She never really seemed worried about it. Was never really with a boyfriend. Getting high all the time, and then Michaela would have her come over and sleep with me for a year and a half. And one day, Michaela got pregnant when she pulled her birth control out suddenly, and then didn't want Cheyenne around anymore. And so I kept going to Cheyenne's for a while because my girlfriend said she was going to move to Oregon with me. And then after I sold my equipment and truck, she said no. So I was getting kind of fed up with her. And I kind of fell for both of them. It was nothing that was going to last anyways. And here I wasn't really that jealous sexually. And I'm like, look, if you want to sleep with someone else, we'll sleep with someone else. I've been sleeping with Cheyenne. Like if I have to stay in the doghouse in the backyard, whatever, let's raise a kid together. I just got to get it off my chest. And bow, she bounces on me. So I hit her dad up and I'm like, dude, did you just come out and like save her from my house and like take my kid and everything too? Like, what the fuck, dude? I was like, you know that we were sleeping with Cheyenne too, and she had some lawyer in the background that she was shooting sugar baby shit too, and her and Cheyenne would send her pictures and videos, and they went to Philadelphia and they went to Chicago and never said anything. They went to Oregon and never said anything, you guys. Like, I never even asked them what they did while they were there. Once. They had bank accounts, cars, phones, everything. The house was nice. She should disappear one night because, and then she got pissed at me. She said, you told my dad that? I said, yeah, Michaela, what did you tell him? I cheated on you and I was honest about it when you knew? And how did you get the annulment? Don't worry about it. What the fuck? So what I'm thinking is, it's weird, is that these women were contacted after I was with them. Or they knew I was to begin with. And they were put on a list of suggested friends on Facebook to click on and say, hey, you're cute. That might be going a little far, but it's really not. Because I'm telling you, these apps are shady as fuck. It's really easy to forward someone's phone calls. It's really easy to take people's ideas. Really easy to not have a death certificate, but then have a death certificate by just needing the obituary that you can create yourself. All we need is an obituary. There was one connected to my mom. This guy had died that had a name that was like somebody who had died in the house, apparently. And then in the damn obituary, it didn't even mention the girl's name. That said he died in her arms, which is his daughter. And then named everyone else. I was like, you know what? I guess someone took her. Yep. And when it comes to identities and stuff, there's not super intelligence with it, okay? For starters, they recycle social security numbers. And then they have programs that check that out. So when these guys started investing me out here in Colorado Springs for investigating them with another PI, you could hear them saying they had a TLOXP program. That is a state and government program that keeps track of every single thing you can get. And you can get it as long as you have some investigative type of work and that, you're not stalking somebody with it. And here they're going, what's this guy's name over here? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, that's the dead guy that had his social security number before him. And I'm going, what the fuck gives these guys an authorization? They're an alleged victim that's an attorney that I reported for fraud that gets to pull a TLOXP on me that's like a state government DMV website, has my driver's license and everything. So when I started to realize my identity was getting stolen, I went like this. And I gave them all my identity. I went to each fraudulent son of a bitch in each state. My empire would be huge like Genghis Khan, but it would just be with clones. They're just like me. Funny, huh? And I pay attention to everything my whole life, so I'm like, ha, ha, ha. My military estate having attorney fucking are rich and badass. Here's my kids, here's my social, here's my picture of my driver's license, everything. Because even if I have my money in the bank anyways, and you take it, it's insured up to $250,000 in FCC ID, or the FCC or whatever, like FEC, whatever. All right, cool, man. I'll get a fund for identity theft. Because I knew they already took my identity by hiring me as a driver for a moving job, where he asked me to go get a medical evaluation to drive a 26-foot box truck that anybody can do and pay for it myself. I said, you pay for it, dude. I can't let you drive the truck. I said, anybody can rent that truck and drive it and be insured. You can't be insured. So you want me to go do a medical eval at a place to work for your moving company? What does that tell you guys right there, dude? That they're collecting medical information on me? About that lady that got sued for that bullshit fucking medical equipment in California. That they're like, she lied to us. Life in prison. So what if you tell an investor that they can invest in your business, they have an opportunity to either succeed or fail? You don't go, hey, Kmart lied to us, and then we didn't realize Walmart was coming in the next day. You guys, like, so you look at that, and I'm like, why does he want me to have a medical evaluation? What are they doing? They're checking our blood for what they figured out goes way back, you guys, and it figures out the actual bloodlines of the people. My bloodline is definitely very important, and it goes back to the tribes of Israel, Benjamin, and it's Jewish blood. And so at 40 years old, I look like I'll say 30, but I look like I'm 20, and I have all my teeth, and I'm intelligent. Way too smart in this world. I mean, you hire someone to be a cop or work at a bank because they're dumb, not because you want them to be corrupt or take your money. The corrupt ones are the ones that are like, take this test, do your best on it, or your worst. We'll let you know, when you get out of here. And you're like, am I going to get results for that state test? No, he never calls back. Don't discipline your kids. You send them to school so we can teach them shit that you don't want, and take religion out of the equation.
And we're going to let them choose things that they shouldn't choose before they can't drink and drive. But we're going to let them have sex too. And when we find out that they're part of the family groups that we've been, dominating forever, we're going to keep taking them because they're getting down to a certain percent of people that are genetically tracked. And that girl, Amanda Mulrain, that had that place, uh, over at 921 East Castilla, she committed millions of dollars of fraud. Millions of dollars of fraud. So I was like, I want to be your friend. Can we be friends? I need your help. Can you deposit this check in your account? Guess where the check was from? Miracle Man Movers. I waited a year to collect that check. Didn't even collect it. Gave her and my grandma both power of attorney. Had the Washington State get it for me. Sent it from Annabelle Bullock, which is, Christopher of Miracle Man Movers' mom, who had like $100,000 DUI claim on his record, no record. He just said, "Weird, that's me," and it was gone the next day after I showed it to him. Because he used the identity and he didn't realize that the guy who had killed the kids got wasted by somebody, and he gave it to him because he was one of the trafficked ones. And Annabelle and Douglas Bullock were connected to Sammy the Bull and the fucking Gambinos. And the chick who looked like she took fucking Josie, what was her name? Overreach or Overwrite. She was wanted by the FBI. This girl looks like she took her identity. She's like, yeah, I was at this one political thing one time. I got arrested for domestic terrorism. No big deal. I keep a gun on me, and I work, but I live in this house with no power and electricity, and I go to the library to do my notaries. I'm like, why did David have your phone at the fucking, Royal Drive address? She's like, I just left it. But then I called back acting like I wanted it. But then he wouldn't give it to me. So I don't know. I'm like, well, you want to recover the account right now real quick, dude? Because guess what? She goes, what? Oh, you moved me in and you gave me your phone. He said, yeah, I gave it to her. I said, well, why is there a message that she wants it back, dude? I didn't even know her, but I think I'm going to give her a call. And they were both into some weird shit. And it was all connected to the Jesus Church on Colorado Ave, where they're the hot team and the street church. He's like, you want to come to street church with me today? It's Thursday. I'm like, I don't feel good, man. No, thank you. There's no street church on Thursday. Inside door of his truck doesn't open. You go to 921 Costilla with her phone, say, here, look, let's recover your email because I got the two-factor verification. She's like, yeah, sure. I'm like, right away, look at this password manager on all your accounts. Does any of these look weird? Yeah, that Capital One. I'm like, cool. There it is, it's open. I'm like, well, what are these $2 payments to the Secretary of State over and over again? She's like, I don't know. I said, did they match a card ending with 0856? She's like, that's David's card. Wait a second, let me see. I've got it right here. Pulled it out. Got his social security card, got his fucking ID. They're fighting over a house that has gotten 10 loans in it over the years that the other owners don't seem alive, and attached every address to every state they've been back in, acting like they just met. I just knocked on his door and got that. And I was campaigning in my boyfriend. They're part of the rainbow family thing every year. Remember? Teaches kids to be weird. It's out in the woods to Colorado and Stone Line. And then, this guy goes into courthouses with 21-year-old girls that disappear after that. And their last known location is right by the Antlers Park out here in Street Church. And then there's all these Facebooks. He's like, yeah, I use a really encrypted computer. Let me let you log into it, but I'm going to make your own account on it. I'm like, okay. My password. It's got like 7 different languages to encrypt the keyboard. I'm like, perfect, dude. I'm like, you're committing fraud, dude. And I'm worth so much fucking money, dude, in my name. Ooh, other people are doing the same thing, dude. And the check that I had cashed into that fucking bank account, dude, was from the fucking Gambino's dog that runs the fucking Luis Massaro, dude, the fucking FBI fucking for me. He was out on a yacht and got casinos. I'm like, you're fucking it, homie. They're not friends, they're all evil bastards. Good luck, people. I realized I couldn't save myself a long time ago. Doesn't mean I was going to take money and fucking help you guys do what you do. Oh, you're right, dude. You're right. I should be picking up that year-old material and putting on this fence, dude. It's time you just get back to work, buddy. I know that you have an insurance claim in my name under DOT. You're collecting money there because you said we were DOT compliant and asked me to have a driver's license to drive your truck, but you didn't give me an insurance card or a DOT number. I'm calling DOT, making whole reports. We'll let you guys know I don't have a DOT number, so if you see one, it's fraudulent. If you see a claim, it's fraudulent. Here's a picture of the insurance form. That guess what? The families keep backing up into the cloud under my emails. If I can't get in 7 emails all of a sudden, that's okay. We'll just get a subpoena eventually and just get it from Google. That's all in there. Next to pictures of my cock. Who cares? We're not going to be worried about that. It's not illegal to put the cock online. But it is legal to take money from people and go fuck around and steal children. So whatever, dude. I might be freaking gay and still take gay pics on it. It doesn't matter. And what? That's not illegal. And it's still busted for the fraud you've done. And then I send all the emails back and forth, all the addresses back and forth. I'm like, Mom, look at this organization that's stealing all this money. And I'm like, this organization out here, look at it, these people are stealing all my money. Can I come over and like maybe get some protection and be friends? Well, yeah, okay. Well, can you guys just check for me? I can keep doing this till the end of time. Yep. I can look up tomorrow what company is connected to, let's say, an app.smartmoving.com that connects people's identities to the fraudulent claims that are connected to all of the companies under Louis Massaro. Who's like, if you want to open a moving company, dude, I can teach you how to, you become a millionaire like me, open a moving company. The guy I worked for was like watching these seminars on how to become a millionaire moving people, and I'm like, why are you watching this white collar nerd letting these ladies choose a $100 deposit, dude, and then answer the phone and not pay people back the claims they're crying about? And you don't want to be listed as the boss and want me to go get a medical thing done? Dude, I fucking took the customer fucking information and downloaded it, sent it to the FBI, and bounced. But you know what's weird? I go to the police station and I show them the information. You know, what are we looking at here? Hundreds of customers' accounts, sir. I went ahead and told the guy I wanted to estimate the homes, and as soon as he unlocked the program and let me in it, on my phone, of course, he tainted my phone with malware. I downloaded the information and then went to the cops. And he was like, well, yeah, we'll let you sit here till we close, but at 5 o'clock, you're on your way. He's out. We'll have someone follow you home, but that's it. So I get home and I'm sitting there for like 2 or 3 days, and I'm like expecting the Gambinos to come kill me. And I'm like, dude, I'm out of here, dude. But I do so much misdirecting shit like I do not to. So I ping my locations off of like fucking back and forth VPNs and false. And then I'll pretend like I'm somewhere else where they think that I am. But what's to say, you guys, that I'm not even who I am? What if my parents stole me and I don't even know? I'm just a really, really intelligent fucking adopted kid that they were going to take advantage of, but like I somehow got away. We don't know, you guys. And it's like they've created different identities for me too. So what if I call out there to that main address that has the other Adam Judkins that's 39, and I find out that all the accounts, I can just walk in with my ID and get the fucking money. Oh, I do have an account here, huh? Like, how much? You can't get anywhere with checks that they track your routing and accounting number. So here, I took the checks from Jake's Moving Company, and I sent the accounting number and routing number to all kinds of different people who are into this stuff. Like, oh, the guy that steals all his money. They're like, yes. Just too many crooks in the world. We got to take from the next one. They're easier to take from because they can't even verify their own identity to get the money back. Yes. And I'm telling you, the FBI doesn't care, you guys. They're like, these type of things take a really long time. And we know it sounds like hundreds of $1,000,000, but now you're like, I don't know, you've been talking too long, and we have heard enough, so we don't really take that long information and investigate what you're telling us. We just tell you to call in case there's a problem because we're the ones doing it. So in Washington, when I started fucking with that moving company, dude, when it started to be weird, dude, I look up this other guy that's an FBI informant that got busted with a huge group of people trafficking drugs across the United States from Boston, Massachusetts. We're talking some big organized shit. He was a federal protected individual too. And I was like, sweet. What do you think bank account and routing number I gave that fucking boss of mine out there? They don't need to match a bank account routing number name, put money in it. And they're like, what? They think I'm stealing from each other. Now they're gonna whack one of the other agents or something that like replaced somebody. But the one guy did, he had like literally supposedly had a daughter, and he was like one out of like 26 people who cooperated to, avoid a life sentence after the drug bust. So it was definitely him, and he was pictures online. He was sexy with all his fucking suits on and all his guns and shit, badass gangster. And I was like, hell yeah. See, there's nothing you can do to even protect your stuff. I can go down to the bank right now and change my account anywhere that would protect it. It really doesn't matter because whether they want my account or not, they can get my account. And you don't even have to go into the bank with an ID. Like Nevada State Bank, for example, will let you change your spoken password right over the phone. And then the other day when I called about accounts in my name at Wells Fargo and Chase and different places, right? I was basically just fucking with the banks. So then I went into them too. Because they were like, we need your ID. So I was like, cool. I was like, if there's any accounts there, man, I need to get in it. They're like, who did you say is on the account? Nobody. I just let my girlfriend have the car, but she just ran off with it. It was this young guy. What kind of account was it? I'm like, I don't know. It could be anything, mortgage, whatever. I mean, whatever she put it in. Like, it's not identity because I just let her have the card and pin number. My identity, set it up, and then But now we broke up, and I need some money. I just seen the card yesterday with my name on it. They're like, what? I'm lying the whole time. They're like, well, since you don't have your ID, sir, or your actual bank card, we can't take your ID. I said, dude, I use my ID, my social security card everywhere to, identify myself, man. If I get a job or whatever, like, that's what they take. So you call me right now, we get on video, I can show you it's me. We just don't identify people by a picture of them. I said, okay, man, well, let's answer some questions. So he starts having me answer some questions. I tell him every time, all four of those things belong to me. There's no wrong answer. I started to realize that. I said I had a 2001, I had a 99, I had a 2008. I was like, all the above, dude. He's like, whoa, which one's right? I said, are you looking at the right answer? He's like, yeah. I'm like, all of the above, dude. He's probably like, fuck, nobody answered that before. He's like, damn. Well, he's like, which of these people do you know? He's like, Randy Judkins, Jeremiah Judkins, Greg Judkins. I'm like, all the above. He's like, I'm not finished yet. I'm like, yes, Greg Judkins too. Yeah. How did you know? Well, because you were out of Judkins, and I'm the last one. And my family's annihilated all the other ones, so nobody will pick up the phone, but, whatever. No big deal. That's how it works, y'all. It's like that. And they're like, which of these streets did you live on? And then in the last one, dude, he changed I think the last one was like a year. He said, which of these phone numbers did you have? Here's algorithms for you. I said, 435 is the start of it, huh? He goes, yeah. I go, well, then none of them, but they all end with the last four numbers. Are you trying to trick me? He's like, what the fuck? Okay, we've looked and you don't have any accounts here. I'm like, how's Crange, dude? She controlled an account for years there, and I just let her run amok, and like, you know, who cares, bro? You guys allow it. You get the pin, and oh, I need my money now. I'm like, you know what? Maybe it was Chase. I don't know. I'll go over there. They're like, we don't know. Like, I don't know my spoken password. You don't know my spoken password? Well, no, man. I mean, if I speak it into a phone, anyways, it's being recorded. If I speak it out loud into the thing, it's being recorded. I can't write it down or put it myself in the encrypted system. So how is a spoken password safe? See, you have a driver's license on you? Yeah. Just go ahead and give me the driver's license. We'll change your spoken password. So I gave everybody my driver's license number. Everybody. Yep. Here you guys go. So funny, you guys. There's nothing. What I did was I made me and my son and Target for mass amounts of money by about 6 or 7 different organizations that are gonna fuck each other up. Because you know why? I was gonna get fucked up anyway. All the time I thought I was doing stupid stuff and drugs. What is this guy doing? You need to just go to work. Are you okay? He doesn't seem alright. I'm like, I'm busy. I'm doing my forensic accounting type of stuff. I'm fucking looking into everything these guys took, and I went ahead and I sent the information somewhere to somebody else. Hey, would you guys like a list of stolen houses? Here you go. Do whatever you want with it. Like, the money's in there in the trust funds, bro. You just gotta be that person. All you need is a notary. They're like, we already got one. Sweet. They've been listening, trying to set me up since I did this. And I don't care. I don't care if I die in my bed right here. Because I think they're gonna get my Chromebook and secure everything that they can. It's on a mode in which everything's gonna be lost. They can't get it out of here. And I have security in places that don't connect to this. Which, by the way, I did things with those devices and I made sure they were trackable. And that way, when they don't find them because they're in and out, they'll be on the camera in that device when the other people do. I get that work truck from my last boss, and I knew it was tracked from day one, and that was illegal. So I allowed him to track me, and I did whatever I wanted, and he never said anything. I was out driving 3 in the morning, and now he's got 4 tracking devices on it. I'm like, he didn't even have me fill out any paperwork saying that I had the truck, nor did he give me a valid insurance claim. I'm like, dude, whose truck am I driving? He made sure he slapped the fucking tag over the Kelco fucking company logo that got tore off. Hey, dude, if we don't wear uniforms or we're driving a truck with you or trucks with logos, but your truck needs a logo, no, we got it. Head on home, buddy. Like, perfect. Thank you, sir. I told that guy at the class he was a dead man the other night because, I said, you're, think about this. If you're in a no-fault divorce state, this is why it's the number one states for this, and there's community property and common law marriage, where you can get a default on divorce really easy or an annulment really easy and still children for people as well. You can, for example, and here's just an example. I haven't done it yet, but I was considering it. If I want to be gay, I can be gay. So I could literally go fuck a dude and stay in his house for one night that's rich. Or his dumb little rich little gay kid that's 22 years old that likes me studding out online. Get his car keys and his debit card and take his ID. When he falls asleep, take a picture of it. Use that identity to, wreak havoc on these other people without ever taking a penny. I've never taken a penny and I haven't been handed. Jake's like, I need your bank account and RIN number. We can't pay you. I'm like, use this one. It's connected to the Nevada State Bank account that they already hacked before while I was out there when I was fucking with this other group of people in Vegas who was renting the place out to everyone they wanted. And then recording in the house and the bedrooms and doing all kinds of weird shit. There's more meth around my room on the floor I've ever seen in a room when I move into it. Even try to hide it. Here he is just like, you guys will be safe here if you need a place to stay. Maybe a picture of your ID, but no contract. Boom. He's like, want to use my computer? I'm like, sure. Password picture. I'm like, dude, this guy is not fucking Walter, and the other guy downstairs is not Michael, and that dude looks like he's been in prison for years. Like, there's a murder. They got all these drug addicts in the house. What the fuck? I'm like, he's just letting me use his computer. What the fuck? He's like, millions of dollars. Like, what the fuck? So here he goes fucking with me too out there where my emails went down and stuff. So suddenly someone called the bank and was like, hello, I just wanted to check and see what's going on with my accounts. I've been out of the country for years, and my sister died. The family's tearing each other apart over a trust fund, and they just need to see what's going on. My brother is using my other brother's name. Did I win it? The tanker's like, let me get the rock before I went there. I'm like, I need an investigator to call me back as quick as possible. They never called me back. They never got into my bank account again after that. And that was about the time I was fucking with these guys in Colorado, and they got cross mixed up there too. I was like, good luck, guys. I'm out of here. I keep doing it. I come out of nowhere and I'm just like, hey, could I open a new bank account over here? It took them 5 minutes. It's like, man, that was the easiest I've ever done in my life. I wonder what's going on in there. You can have multiple bank accounts and multiple cards in your name, which is why the banker the other day was like, we cannot tell you if you have an account or not, sir, if you don't have the card. I'm like, well, what happens if I lose it? They said, then you have to come down to the bank to see if I look like the other Adam Judkins that was in there yesterday. So tomorrow I do the same shit again too. I call these banks and I'm like, I heard that somebody laundered $100 million in my name to this bank right here and said I was married to this woman that just got divorced to me, but I'm not him and he's not me, and that's my account. Here's their addresses, everything. I don't know. Somebody just tipped me off. I just wanted to see if it was true. I'm like, so the account's in my name? They're like, yes, sir, but we can't give you the information on it. Why not? Because you didn't say you drove a 2021, sir. And that was the trick question. But somebody else that's attached to another account to the 2021. What I realized with other trick questions is the algorithms compiles all right answers. So there's no wrong answer. Because I've had to guess those before. And I get them right. And it still pushes you through. It really doesn't matter. Because it's going to attach you to a group of accounts. If there's more than one. Or one account or a group of names. If there's more than one, it doesn't really matter. I want to see which ones you answer to try to figure it out. And so I'll fuck with them too. I put a VPN on my phone and I call in the bank to wait forever for customer service. And they're like, asking me, well, you seem to be not calling from the number that's on your account. I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm just in Germany right now. I've been here for like a year and a half. They're like, who's been in your account? I'm like, oh, my brother. I just let him be me. Whatever. It's okay if I give him permission. Like, yeah. Like, you just opened the account with the other guy over here that had, got the $80,000 with him. And I was like, yeah, but he wasn't going to get all on that money. It was just, the whole thing was a setup. So, you know, let me just give you my secret spoken password right in front of him. It's Journey. Got that? And right away I call and I'm like, hey, I'm taking my account. And they're like, yeah, I don't know. You don't know the password? I'm like, no, I forgot it. Just to give them my driver's license info. Because I sent my driver's license to numerous people, which is another reason why I kept the one that I have still. I'm like, that's perfect. It doesn't expire for 7 years. I don't have to do anything with it. And you wonder why my ex-wife is asking me for child support. Chances are she gets it already out of something, or she filed some sort of lawsuit that entitled her to some lien or something, or she's saving it till the end. But it really doesn't matter. If I'm in jail, you can't say you don't know where I am or I'm dead. And nobody's giving me a new identity, so yeah. Please let us secure your phone by using your fingerprint and your face recognition and your home spot to keep it unlocked. That way, if we kill you in your home, we can get in there still without the Celebrex system, which is made for encrypting the data. Use a PIN number. I use a pattern sometimes too. But then I was over at that dude David's house when I was staying there on Royal Drive, and I'm like doing my passwords right for him. He's all looking over my shoulder. I'm writing everything down on a piece of paper. He's like, you write everything down on a piece of paper and then tear it all up? Yeah, buddy. The stuff that I don't want in my phone, big guy. So funny. I already called U.S. Bank in Georgia. I was just like, hey, this is Mr. So-and-so, and my wife just cashed out a big old chunk of change there with my money. I think she said she was going to be with me together forever, but we took all this money and put it in there, and she disappeared. I'm calling the police. I'm calling fraud. Yep. And it's weird the way you can piggyback off other accounts and stuff too. Like, for example, they keep stealing veterans' information. They like veterans' accounts as they have the most money for the lenders to give out. And it is what it is. It's just very American all the way around. You know what I mean? So they take the veterans' accounts and then they sponsor other accounts on them too. And this one guy's like, talking about this Navy credit union account that I'm looking at his house and I'm like, you guys wanted me out of jail for no reason, just because I was smart. And then you said that the reason you bonded me was so that you could hide money to get a public defender. And then you brought me this house where you take all these people here and give them rooms and buy them drugs, dude, and they got warrants and everything too, and you're godly and you feed everyone. But you're not that guy. You're not Elmer J. Jones or Elmer C. Jones or the other 5,000 Elmer Joneses. I'm like, you kick people's doors in, and everybody who's lived there before is in jail, and you own all of their shit. And so here, when I was making more of a stink doing all this stuff the other day, I was like, David was calling my grandma supposedly. My grandma was like, "What do you want me to tell him?" I'm like, "Just ignore him, Grandma. Don't be rude or anything." She's like, "I told him to stop howling." He's probably like, "Fuck, dude." He probably realized some stuff. Because he's a little techie fuck too, just like my stepdad. They all are. They're all busy, busy little bees. Because it's so funny. I just took my girlfriend's phone in Vegas one time. I said, "Let me check this out, dude. He has your tablet still over there?" She goes, "Yeah." She's like, "He took a check from me and deposited in the account too." And we go to Bank of America and they're like, they won't tell her what happened to the check. Like, it was mailed to us. We never got it. It's going to take us 6 weeks to give you an answer on that. Or to tell us it was put in his account that looks like hers and she needs the money. I made the biggest mistake in the world, dude. I sit online and get emails and I hit up every CEO for the bank and every review for the bank times like 400. She's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Making sure your identity stays clean after this," because when I looked you up this now, it said that you're dark web fucking exposed. And so I figured I would make sure that it's dead in the water. So I'm like, I went and got into your Boost Experian account. I used your ID and said, "Hello, this is Nicole, so and so." They said, "Okay, sir, hold on." I said, "Ma'am, I can't get into my account. I just need to verify here." But they verified the whole account over the phone. Right there was in. I was like, "Here, your account's unlocked. Look, dark web exposed." She's like, "I knew I shouldn't have come back from Chile." I'm like, "Yeah, and look, I'm logged into your computer in your boyfriend's house over there. He has your tablet." I hit the voice thing. I'm like, "What's up, dude? Nice gun and nice money on the table. What are you doing?" He's like, "You better get your girlfriend back her tablet, dude, and stop fucking hacking into her account, bro. Like, I'm not fucking playing with you, dude. Think you piece of shit. You've got all kinds of accounts with all kinds of emails that don't seem related, but they were made on your Google account. And then you cash your fucking check, dude." I'm like, "I'm gonna fucking roast you, bro." I went ham on him. All of his picture and information, and he was working for a Strasbourg casino, was in my phone, and these guys stole it from here. Then after Walter had these identities out there in Las Vegas, suddenly somebody applied for 100 credit cards in one night to his house, and then told the bank that he was out of the country for 7 years, and the family fighting over a trust fund using each other's names, and the ones that had died that got out of prison. I think they're gonna kill me. I'm like, "You need me to come down there?" "No, do not come down there. We do not want to have to pay you the money we owe you. Stay there where they can get you." I was like, "Sweet, thank you for closing that account." And now, guys, like, I need you to make sure that when somebody comes into that bank and can prove they're me, here, let me send you a picture of me, that you don't open an account back up. So you don't want us to do the mail verifications? No, no mail verification. I'm not going to be secure enough. I'm going to need like DNA verification. Do you guys have a copy of that? Fucked him up, dude. Like, "What's up now, motherfucker?" It's because what they do is they let you move into their house because you're needy, and then they keep an admin program running on the router, which aren't the easiest or the most difficult things to hack, but they're extremely easy if you're in the house and you know where the router's at. And a lot of them run two services too. There's always a good service and a bad service. So David at his house over there here on Royal Drive, he had two routers. When you have two routers, it's usually pretty scary what people are doing. Yeah. Thinking that I have two routers in my house, dude, and there's something going on with some trucking shit that she does here. I don't want to know. She's a tough lady. She talks to people all over the country and world too. So guess what? You run one router that's almost exactly the same as the other router, so that either people can make mistakes and log into it, or you can sit on the good one and have them log into that one. So I'm like, "Hey, what's your Wi-Fi password, dude?" And they're like, "It's right here. Use this one." When you log in, I go into my admin console, I can see what kind of device you're logged in, what you're doing. Use low Bluetooth signals, check out your sensors, see around your room, hear you, listen to your cars, intercept them, take out your two-party verification. Fuck you, make out, look at all your pictures like a sicko. Everybody's into this. My stepdad's into this. David over here was into this. Everybody. The girl, man, fucking, I think she was Josephine Overreach or over something. I don't know what it was. But she was like a wanted FBI girl. But she wasn't the girl. I looked back to those pictures. It wasn't her. But it was somebody who was connected to domestic terrorism and an arrest. And it was also somebody who was connected to the FBI and wanted type of protest that she was definitely into, talking about MK2 Ultra and rainbow family shit and human trafficking since she was trafficked here. She was pissed off. David was her boyfriend, and then, the one that she just met randomly knocking on the door. And I was like, well, then how come you guys live all the way back to New York? This has been done in all these places. There's people missing all over the place, all the way there, all the way to the Catskills up in New York and shit. She's like, I don't know, I just met him here, but yeah, I didn't realize we shared addresses together because we have done this everywhere we went. Same thing in her head. I was like, well, yeah. Like, do you want to come over and talk about it? Show me like what's going on so we get better at this. I'm like, sure, come right over. I'm like, you didn't open this account? She's like, no. I'm like, fraud report. The person who took my phone, I left it there, and then suddenly realized that he stole my notary thing too. But I happen to have his card in my pocket right now. That matched the card. That looks like he was depositing bank accounts and businesses too that are linked to the fraud. She put the check in her bank and says, hey, I'll cash it. Put the check in the bank account. All of a sudden she goes, I don't know what happened, but your check froze my bank account. My credit went down like 600 points. I was like, that's impossible. The check was good. It was from the Gambinos out there in Washington. I said it was from Washington State. She's like, yeah, well, look, here's my account frozen with the check in it. I said, so you don't want to call down there and like see if you could get the money? Like it's owed to you? Call Washington, like, hey, where's that money? They're like, it's gone. So I didn't get it. I said, when you cash that check, I said, go ahead and fucking pay to the order of you. And I gave you an authorized power of attorney to sign it for me. She said, well, I just signed it and put it in there. Okie dokie then. And I knew she was a fraudster, so when I'm in jail talking to her, I'm like, hey, you want me to send you a power of attorney where you can do anything you want with my identity? Cash a check. She's like, yeah, go ahead. And as soon as she does that, so she's arguing with my grandma and tells me she can't be with me because I'm in jail and I'm a pain in the ass. And I'm like giving her legal advice that I was right about, and she's like, I can't take your advice because you're an orange. I'm like, well, that's funny. I was right about the last three things you did, and so I set you up with the check too. So now I've had my identity and advantage taken of all of the people who I just came into their lives looking needy to shit on them. And like, dude, I'm gonna get like the ultimate death from them, but it really doesn't matter. I mean, that really scared me. Fuck them. It'd be good fun, you guys. Good fun. Because they're so calculated and they're all part of this problem that it's gonna go on for years now. And I never started it. But no, if a kid doesn't seem very important in the world and he's easy to get rid of or take, you make a big deal about him. Now all of a sudden, A lot of people know who that kid is. And they also understand probate and legal issues too. So when it comes down to it, they could start probating something out in another state while you're doing it as well. And next thing you all have a big problem. The FBI's like, man, we employed you guys to replace the dummies, and now 10 of you filed a claim on the same person. They're like, not intentionally. You gave us each a group permission to do this, and we didn't think this was ever going to occur. I went in a big ass circle though, and I fucking handled my business. Pretty funny. So there was some word about the lady in Vancouver, Washington. I moved in with too, and she was another one. I was like, I'm down and out. I need a free room to rent. She goes, come to me. All my last husbands killed themselves, and I like young guys. I'm like, what's up with that Mustang convertible right there? She's like, I can't get it registered, but here's the keys. So funny, you guys. Yeah, that bitch was a witch and sucking children's souls, literally. And like, I guarantee you, those last guys didn't kill themselves. They were military too, and the car had to belong to them. You didn't buy it for cheap and never get it registered and don't have a driver's license. You're not getting insurance without a driver's license, which means you're not getting registration. Fuck out of here, dude. And then you ask me to go everywhere for you. It's my car. Go get some stuff. Sweet. Can I have it $800? She's like, here you go. Is what it is, you guys. It gets funnier than that, I'll be honest. Okay, so I'm trying to remember who I gave that laptop to. Where did I go after that? I went to Vegas. That's right. I was on my way from Washington to Vegas, and I helped these girls who needed a tow in their car outside the casino. And I was like, here, I want a laptop. The two phones that got pulled on the subpoenas for the tracks and CEDX data in Las Vegas to prove I'm there. Nobody can prove I bought them on an account hooked up to me, because let's just say they were business phones, and then let's just say after I made them want to recover my emails for themselves, and they couldn't recover them, and I knew everything was hacked and third-party contact, that I handed them off to the people. This one girl that I banged, I was like, you need a phone, girl? I'll call you on it later. She's like, wow. This bum I took helped me move. I said, here, want a phone? He goes, hell yeah. I get the two subpoenas for the court orders on the phones. I'm like, perfect. That's the only debt I have left, by the way, too, guys. And you know what they did to those phones is sick. Because that was around the time me and my client got the Nevada bank account. They tried to fry me to bring me out here. So I was like, the cops in Colorado were pulling subpoenaed data on it that they were going to bring out later. That was connected to that little mob group out there when I moved in with that little weirdo. Yeah, we love game rooms with weirdos. I'm like, what's your PIN number to this Players Club car? He's like, 4342, the same as the safe in my room. Do you want to stay the night? I'll get you a key card. Yes, sir. I do. 4342. And to make matters worse there too, I said, we're the Bullocks. We live in Washington and we're connected to the Gambinos. We own moving companies that run behind Louis Massaro that set people up all the time for identity theft. We don't care that your wife was a cop and that you think you got money to give away. Come and get some. We'll be on our way to Vegas. You feel weird, dude? I could just sit at a bar and wait for it. Looking hella good. I'm in this other bar one night with this other laptop at the casino. You know, shit going down right there in Vegas, dude. I'm on my computer all night. This girl sits next to me. She brought nothing to the casino. I just want to see her, can I? Sure. Nothing. Just gonna drop off here. Just like all the other traffic girls that get put in people's lives like me. So I'm like, cool. I bullshit with her. Said, well, you can leave with me at 6 in the morning. I don't want to drive in the middle of the night. 6 in the morning rolls around. She's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Can you watch my phone? It didn't work, she said. So I slid the laptop right into the phone. Bounced before she got out of the bathroom. She got herself a new laptop before she got out. I sent government officials hundreds of emails all night that night with evidence of crimes of all sorts. Of people that are going to get snuffed everywhere because they're really bad at what they do by fucking up with me. Every time. Like, of course I don't mind that you record the inside of your house and don't ask for a contract. Oh yeah. That's so funny, guys. I'm gonna keep doing it too until something either happens where somebody tries to like, say, we do want to give you a job or like some good opportunity roles, or I'm just gonna keep looking for accounts that I'm gonna smile. And I'm just gonna say, yeah, I just need to make a little transfer and get out of here. And I'll put it on something that's encrypted that I can carry in my pocket. All you need nowadays, that's the best way to do it. Uh, they'll have one to sell you right away. They know what's up. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know, you got like a list of who I can go get the money from, and like a prepaid card to get there. Here you go. Oh, you got identities too. Hella funny. We're going to roast everybody, guys, to the end of time. From here on out, and I'm going to continue to make sure that when you guys are screwing over me, you're actually screwing over the wrong person. And then I'm going to continue to go to the next person and then somehow tie you guys together. Yeah. By bringing an old driver's license or an old check or an old bank account and get you guys all wrapped it. Uh, let's just say I did already make a couple of transfers when it comes to accepting money, but I wasn't the one who accepted the money on my behalf that had a power of attorney. Uh, it's a sign for me that somebody said that's totally fine, man. Or as good as notary, we don't know. Like, I don't need it for now. I just need you to like send it to my friend. On top of everything else, I'll give you another one. There's a car company out here that does Medicaid ride transports. That is probably using fake identities. This running game on the homeless out here that needs to stay stocked, by the way, over there, which is trying where they're pushing me. Where they say they take 7 homeless people in 7 different cars 3 times a day to Denver, 3 days a week, and then same thing to Pueblo, and they're siphoning huge sums of money out. Yeah. So instead of using one company, I used them all. And then I just send him a picture of me too every time my driver's license. I'm like, you know what? I don't need the ride. And they're like, because I probably got like 7 different companies pretending to do the same different rides. And next thing you know, well, now there's a problem with my Medicaid. So I was getting irritated about all the Medicaid fraud the other day. So I made a big deal at the pharmacy. Then I made a big deal at the doctor. And I made a big deal at the court. Health Partnerships LLC, motherfucking Memorial Healthcare. I went to the Attorney General Medicaid Control Fraud Unit. I hit up the restitution clerk at the DA. I went off on this. I was like, you guys need to understand that this stuff's happening all the time. And I want receipts for everything that's been charged because I was a medical office insurance biller and I want to go through each itemized bill, what was taken, what was charged, what I did to make sure nothing happened that I didn't do. And they said, you'll have to call this number up here to get it. And nobody gave it to me. Yep. And then it got even weirder because as soon as I said on the phone that I was reporting, people at the class and doing that, suddenly my PO didn't have vouchers for me anymore. And the PO changed. Yeah, he's back working for the sheriff's office. I'm like, oh, cool. I was in class the week before that where people got $160, $200, and I heard other people were $200 behind. He's told me I can only be 2 classes behind and not pay for things, but he's going to take care of it. And then all of a sudden, she doesn't have any vouchers for the month because it's a fiscal year where that month they don't have them. And she tells me that she'll start giving the vouchers back again here in a couple of weeks. So, I told them about a Turning Point and how a Turning Point was charging Medicaid prices down at the Southern office, and how I knew Joanne Perry on the office and Lady Kathy that ran the Turning Point at a time was doing open-ended sessions with people and keep them in there for longer than she should. So I transferred out and went to another class that paid for all of my classes, and they're like telling me that Medicaid doesn't do that. I was like, well, I went to 2 different places. Maybe they don't do that. Both the places I went are closed. Let me tell you, by the way, Wisdom Works is closed. I went on Swope Ave, and so is the Medicaid office that took it down on South in Quill Lake. And they were both the ones I went to. Both the ones I doubled up on the funds that they say they don't take money there anymore for insurance. I made a big ass deal about that shit to Medicaid. And then recently, too, I said, what do you mean you don't take insurance for this class? He says, because he's in the same business. He's taking cash for everything, giving us no receipts, but then doing authorizations for some sort of voucher online, they're calling it, that they're not going to give me now, saying I can take less classes and not pay as much, and he'll get me out of there. And I already paid 2 different places for this in the past. Now I'm paying for it again. What is going on here, guys? I paid $12,000 for a $3,200 bill that nobody wants to talk to me about either. I'm like, you guys owe me money, you owe the hospital and Medicaid money. They're like you committed fraud, that's a crime. Someone changed the document and you guys obtained money that way fraudulently, and it wasn't proper form. I got a 70-page motion right here. If you want to check it out, I sent it to everybody. Nobody calls me back. I'm on a special list around most things these days. I'll probably get approved for everything for Medicaid. Why don't I just run my own business, dude, where I charge myself Medicaid, where I commingle the funds from a personal account to a business account? I'll take it from Medicaid in the business account, and I'll say I'm driving myself as the driver, as the passenger to go to the office, where I'll charge it, put it in the personal account. And then I'll change it back and forth where I take 1,000 out, put 1,000 in, take 1,000 out, put it in, and it'll look like both accounts. After I do that 800 times, make a lot of money. Look at my monthly bank statements are $900,000 a month. I use the same money and transferred it back and forth 900 times. Can I get on that one? Last time I got arrested, I didn't make it to jail with a phone, a social security card, my ID, nothing. I was like, they stole my identity. I told them I was a different name. They were all pissed off. Where's my ID at? We don't know. The detective from here called. Do you have any phones on when you came in? No, ma'am. Last time I got arrested here in Colorado, too, I was like, you can have my keys and my phone, honey. I trust you. Took all that money. Like, sweet. U.S. Bank's like, no, sir. You gave her the PIN so they can clean it out while you're in jail, and we don't have to pay that back. In fact, you owe it for the overdraft fees. I was like, cool. It's gonna get even better pretty soon here too, because when they gave my client a verified check for money that I had gotten him recovered before I got in trouble, we took it to the exact same bank in Nevada State Bank that we knew connected to Vector Bank in Colorado, and it's connected there because it's connected by the mob and the motherfucking Zion Bank. And my bank account got taken over out there right after I put a little bit of money in it, and he put that check in it, and then John kind of disappeared after that. And that's unfortunate, but he was a dummy, and starting to realize how much trouble he was in for signing off on shit, being a dumbass, and then suddenly his money got shifted around, and then my bank account got taken over right about the time that all of these guys here seized and froze my emails and did dumbass shit, dude. Like, I found a Comcast account here in Colorado Springs that was open at an apartment up north. So I called Comcast and I'm like, you guys have an account open for me? I haven't had Comcast in years. I have been going ham. Going ham. So what you're starting to see is my identity is used for fraud so many times that when these individuals think that I'm just someone new and they go after and they do something dumb to it, it's a big red flag. So I'll tell you guys, dude, you need to understand that the world is surrounded by those who intend on defrauding all of us and taking all the money. And the ones we pay to protect us and stop them from it are helping them. And when you try to get the police to do something about it, they don't. And then when you get freaked out, you think something bad's gonna happen to you. It doesn't. Life goes on. Because it is along the lines of the gaslighting, gang stalker shit. And when I started telling this dude the other day how I used the techniques to reverse the shit on them, he goes, fuck, dude. I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Because I'm not going to take a penny ever of that money unless it's returned and given me a percent. And I'm rewarded for actually doing something good with it and say, here you go, sir. Nobody wants to do that, though. They get a nice chunk of change, I'm gonna have an office where I'm gonna have to box some shit up. But see, it's simple. I figured out how the poorest person can. I suppose to. It got even weirder the other day, right? So like 9 different times I've opened a Ben verified account. Numerous times in my own name, numerous times in other people's names. Doesn't really matter. I'm like, hey, can I use your card to open a Ben verified account? I'm like, sure. Thank you for the permission. I'm gonna use it to look you up. So I got $1 fucking week trial on Ben verified the other day, and I was going ham on it, fucking people up. I was fucking people up so bad on it that Ben verified returned my dollar, shut my account down. You know what that just did? That just pissed off a company that buys themselves information real fucking bad. So I was telling that to Google this morning. I was like, guess what, Google? Your guys' system is perfect. Do not stop collecting data. Algorithm broke. I'm like, because of you and your data collecting by violating our privacy, I can see trends in all financial crimes on the internet. I'm like, and since nobody will do anything about it, I'm like, you're my favorite people in the world. Thank you for violating my privacy. Now I'm going to use it to have somebody else, you know? So there's been so many times I haven't been verified, and people every time call. So like, which site did you get off of? Been verified? You imagine how much money these companies that have that owe us on information that's either public or was a violation of privacy, anyways? I wonder who paid my school debt. Maybe I should check on that. And you know why? Because my school debt stayed green without a payment for like 15 years, and it got up to like $25,000. And I was telling the loan officer when I went to school, I said, you know, all you have to do is attempt to make a minimum payment every 9 months to stay out of default, and that would keep you from paying off the whole loan. Because they were like, no, you should pay off the whole loan. Don't tell people that. And I was like, dude, I kept it in green without paying it for 15 years, and then suddenly someone paid it. $25,000 of school debt from MTI Business College, which in fact was being stolen by the business by giving students checks to cash and bringing them back. And I called them out on that too. You need my money back. I should have told them right then, I want $1 million, man. I don't do that. I don't. I said, no, I'll just take the money back that I should have got. Thank you. Sure, I won't tell anyone. I did though. I told everyone. I called lawyers and everything. I was like, check this out. Let's just say that I have made my identity one of the baddest motherfucking identities in the country. That a lot of shit's happened to, and a lot of money's connected to. And I'm still sitting here and what they're trying to figure out, what they're trying to figure out at all of it. How come there's only fucking one me online? Except for one more Adam Jenkins in Maine. What they call it on the bar? It's like some funny name in Maine. You just look it up. There he is. Not me, but he looks like me. And nobody's ever looked like me my whole life. And then there's nothing online that connects to me anymore either. Because there was certain information that was connected to those things that was going to fuck somebody up. And I have multiple lifetime benefit phones in my name. You're only allowed to have one. Let's just say Medicaid and the fraud companies that pay out for identity theft and shit have paid out more money to me or for me than you can possibly fucking imagine. Mm-hmm. I bet you the Medicaid here was cost me a lot of money, and maybe even these high up companies that pay out for fraud, because you can go and say you have identity theft in an account that's in a name that's not yours and you can get paid on it. But then if they pay the wrong person, that was my account that identity theft was done on. Now I'm owed the money. So the funny thing is when I call FBI and stuff, I talk to them and they don't help me. They're thinking you're a fucking asshole. We replaced the mob and now we're part of the 3 credit companies that are corporately taking over. And you just keep getting in the way. And you're really fucking up for us because we have, like hundreds of people that have worked for us, but we have to freeze them funds now. It's going to take us 100 years to get the money off your name. Oh, good. Cool. Sounds great to me. I'm going to get started on some mischievous stuff, dude, right now. I'm going to see if I can find any bank accounts today. And then if I can, suddenly there might be an account that somebody else hacked recently that the money ends up in. But no matter what, I'm the person that it belongs to. So at the end of the day, I'm going to hand it over and say, here you guys go. Mr. Police, I've got $1 million to hand you right now. What? Well, yeah. I mean, I expose people for fraud like I've been telling you guys. And they tried to pay me off, but I'm not going to take the payment. So I need to turn in get a police report. I haven't been able to get a police report number for one crime that I filed in a long time. We're going to arrest you for false reporting. So I said, well, first you have to investigate it and prove it's false. And then you prove it right. And then you'd have to do something about it. So, I guess what we have is dispatchers failing to report crimes and police failing to investigate it. Sorry to tell you. They literally handed me a discovery in the last one. It took a while to get it. And I've got so much shit in there that's fucking ridiculous, dude. And now the phone that these guys were hacking out here, this big organization in Colorado Springs, and stole all my accounts from, was encrypted by Daniel Smoker, the CSPD forensic data specialist, investigative unit here that plugs in a Celebrex brute force system into the phone, and it takes a huge pile of compressed data. They didn't provide that back to me at all. That's connected to all the emails that were stolen from me that I purposely allowed access to the group that was committing fraud to my client so that they would take advantage of me. Yes. Which is a proof of a privacy violation right there, because you're not supposed to brute force hack and store data before you get a warrant. But it had malware all on it. So now you got all kinds of bad shit there. You're not connected to any emails that belong to any phones that belong to me. In fact, we're perfectly set up for the people here to take them. Yep. After I had a trail of shit following me. See, in Idaho, I had this girlfriend, Chantel. Let's probably find out who she is. Her dad was shot and killed by the police who trespassed on his property, hopped a locked gate twice in one day about nothing more than a girlfriend saying he's got the kids, I won't let me have them. Wasn't in any type of danger to him or anything. They went over there and shot and killed him. They got exonerated. There's a whole thing going on there between Bradley Little and Mr. Raymond Bundy and Ryan Bundy, and this war going on between the Patriots and the other side. And so I looked into whole situation with her dad, and it turns out that apparently they say he killed a child in a car accident due to some negligence years before that you didn't really read much about. Child isn't mentioned, whatever. So they put him on like misdemeanor probation or something like that, and then decided to, come back at him later about the girlfriend who was drunk and on drugs, telling him that, he was in trouble because he was going to hurt himself and blah, blah, blah. So they go out to his house and just waste him. And then next thing you know, they send his fucking daughter to prison. Her brother's to prison. Everybody did. Like wiping out his whole bloodline. I made sure to point out that I was a PI from Colorado. Blah, 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 blah. I tell them I come from a military police family, lawyers, trust funds. And I'm like, I called every police officer known man out there one day that was in charge. Tried to get somebody to do something about it. I'm like, the same judge that was appointed by the DA Wasson, Cynthia E. Wallace, was in the courtroom sentencing her, and they were in the courtroom also with her dad years ago because of an interest that was something they're mad about, and the cops were exonerated. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I call up the cop that shot her dad. I said, look, man, we got an innocent woman in jail, dude. You want to help? I love her, man. She's sweet. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Definitely got him to make some calls on that one. To the point where I got written a speeding ticket one time out there. They didn't file my speeding ticket. And then the tickets I got up in Nevada too, they didn't file those either. That car was in Michaela's name the whole time. I'm like, okie dokie. Let me just give you the VIN number. One of you guys took my car and looked around it trying to find shit. Did you have any cell phones? Fuck would I have cell phones for, dude? That's what you guys use to fucking hack us. So now none of these guys have got an original phone that they had done anything on to make it look like it was mine, so that let's say they could hand it to my kid to answer. And the fact that when I called my cousin Erin Jenkins in Florida and her daughter Jade answered the phone, that just proves something else. How many kids do you know that answer their mama's phone? And Jade was like taken aback too. Who's this? I'm like, hey mom, can I have your friend Sandy's number? No. Okay. Can I have my godparents' number? No. Can I have my brother Michael Judkins' number? No. I'm like, I can't find him anywhere. I'm trying to get a hold of him, See how they're going? No. All the places they're connected to, too. Oklahoma, Flagstaff, Washington, Michael was supposedly in. I'm like, oh, dude. They gotta be dead, or they gotta be imposters. Because you can't find Michael Judkins anywhere online. And if he had a family and he has money, I'm entitled to that money. And I'm entitled to my uncle's trust fund on this side in Tracy. And Doug's brother, my other uncle's trust fund. Doug's money. Both my other dads, Randy and fucking Randy. I go right. All the money my grandma took. The money my cousin's uncle, my dad took, my other uncle, my other aunt. I was wondering why I always called this lady Lisa Rollins Auntie Lisa. I'm like, aren't my godparents over here? I'm like, what is she, a realtor now? Oh yeah, I mean she was, I was, she was, we never made any money. Lisa Rowland connects directly to a house in Thousand Oaks. Dick directs directly to Cheryl and Doug, but in separate manners, which means they might have stayed there at different times. That's weird. And I find it even further weird that my grandma told me Madison was over there recently, and she wasn't. Why would my little sister be mad at my mom for sending her to a mental institution? How did that even happen? She would have been an adult, and unless she was doing something crazy, she shouldn't have even been there. Then why would she go to my grandma's? So my grandma told me some more information I need, basically, again. Because if you think about it, for starters, my grandma lives in a senior citizen house. And there was one point where I seen clearly that Madison had moved over to a horse ranch or something in Colorado, which I thought was weird because nobody's here for her. And then I believe that Tyler guy lives in like South Carolina or something. I was thinking about calling him again today to see what kind of information I can get out of him. Because I'm like, dude, if Madison married you for a year, then kept her last name and went to the sheriff's and did something bad at the sheriff's, and now she's somewhere else, what the fuck, dude? You know? Maybe she took your identity because you're military or something, did something with it. He's like, that is weird, dude. I never knew she was a sheriff. You know what I'm thinking is quite possible? The sheriff is like the PO I have. Maybe she was put into place using her identity. It is weird though. See, I think they're getting upset with me because I keep putting myself out there over and over and over again and saying, I'm here. What's going on, guys? Because you really can't delete the shit. So then I went today and I deleted all the pictures on the phones. I started to reset them with like a skiff mail and a burner number, all types of stuff. All types of stuff. Going through every setting it up with like no DNSs and like proxy servers and fucking VPNs and different types of end-to-end encryption. So the bottom line is now is I got a few more facts to find out, but it is weird because Tyler, whoever's her husband, how's he just gonna make it out of the divorce so quickly and just what if he's not even him? Because all of them don't seem to know who the last identity was. Like, yeah, dude, didn't you realize that her dad was a Marine? And that, she ended up leaving you within 1 year and then becoming a cop and then having some unexplained shit happen. And now I'm starting to think that that's not true either. Because there was this one sheriff out here, it was like Huston or Hutton or whatever, they keep changing the names. Just like Tara and Ryan Sappin killed that kid that was said to be, water overdose. And the sheriff that came out and looked at the kid said, yeah, I agree, it's a water overdose. And they went to jail for like a day, but then they handed them back like 5 adopted kids and they disappeared. Nobody knows what happened. So it's all hooked up to the same Gannon stock shit. And the daycares out here, they had all the kids in the wall, all those women. We're going to be talking about all this shit. There's no human trafficking cases in Colorado. We only, have mass shootings that are suicides, we call them. And kids in the wall of daycares. But we handled it. And they let them out. What are kids doing hiding in the wall of the daycare? What kind of daycare hides kids in the wall? Behind the face wall. Why has nobody done anything, you guys? It's like this, dude. If I adopt your kid, I'm entitled to everything you own. If he has the same name as you, that's even better. And I think when you adopt him at a young age, you can give him the same name. For example, John Hopper out here was the son of John Hopper. They lived in Cortez, and that's why they were after him, was the dad's ranch and all the money. Plus, the mom said that she had put a Prudential life insurance policy on her own son. I said, dude, why do you have a life insurance policy on you? He said, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'll tell her to take it off. She said, if I want her to get rid of it, she'll take it off. And I said to ask her. So we called over there, and he goes, yeah, I don't really want this thing on you, Mom. Can you just get rid of it? No, because what they're doing is they're sinking money into it that makes it look like it was you, but then you die and they collect it, and it gets away with a tax-free payment. And when we were trying to call Prudential about the life insurance policy, he couldn't access his own life insurance policy. Which, one thing you guys don't realize is you can put a life insurance policy on somebody that they can't access, which is weird because they're supposed to be the individual that it is attached to, but it doesn't need their permission, especially if you have a notary stamp for everything. So you're just like, I mean, it's crazy, right? Well, let's just say everybody's going to end up having some real fun here soon. These guys might as well just get rid of me and send me to heaven. And I mean, I'm not greedy. If they were going to take care of me, I would just tell them to, like, make a couple examples of a couple people. I know I can't save the whole world. Give me a reasonable amount, and my son and my daughter. I don't care what, happens to the rest of the people. Really, I do, but I don't. Like, I can at least head on down the road with my son. But today's going to be some real fun because I did realize that I can receive calls to my encrypted number, but not my other number. So now I got some people that are calling me today to do some loan exchanges for large sums of money with extremely high interest rates. We're just signing shit, saying, look, I got this trust fund. That's all you needed to know. They're like, yeah. Now, can you didn't get any of the money? Nope. And your parents are still like, yep. And you have kids? Yep. That's all we needed to know, sir. Sign right here. Okay, cool. Not to mention, these guys have made it so that they put me on paper on probation and then put me through the system for medical claims. Mm-hmm. After there's already been so much fraud. I'm like, aren't you guys going to make me pay some restitution? They're like, weird. I wonder why I didn't get any restitution at all. Probably because the plan was to take my identity before the probation's over and get rid of me. But how would you do that? Replace me while I'm on probation with somebody else that wants to be on probation? I don't know if that's going to work. Today, too, I'm going to, tell a couple of these medical ride places that people need rides that have already may or may not reported their identities as being used for medical fraud, and then we'll see what happens from there. The last few times I do this, I just wait, and life goes back to normal, and then I move and I go somewhere else. That was me. And my debt just disappears, and addresses disappear on my credit. Yeah. Good luck, y'all. I'm telling you. If you ever want to hit me up, okay, my email. Which one do I want to give you? Just go with adamjudkins2@gmail.com, because it's connected to the 125, which is Adam Judkins also. Adam Judkins2 or adamjudkins125@gmail.com. And it's the emails that these people have maintained a secondary account attached to. Yep. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and log off, and you can question me whenever you want. And if you can't get a hold of a guy that looks like me, that knows what's going on, well, then it's not me. You know? And I mean, stolen money is free money, because, there's lots of things you do. If you guys wanted to go to these different groups of people on like a test action and say, hey, that dude wants some money from me on a high interest rate, but what would you guys give me to not give it to him? He'd probably get paid on the spot. Maybe here's $1 million, dude. Just don't help him. You do this all day. It's only going to get worse from here, though. And I feel good about it. I don't think too many people have been in my position to be able to just sit back and employ tactics that are gnarly for weeks on end. While I'm sitting there fucking blasting you all out of the water with everything you do. Another thing that was really weird recently, I had problems with Uber and Lyft. Uber said they were going to deposit a couple deposits in my account to verify my card. That didn't happen. Lyft said that the bank seemed fine on my side and on the bank side, which the bank said was fine. But it's not depositing money in my account. And then I had them attached to different emails that I let get caught, and then I recovered them because they only want you to have one account. So I was like, cool. I got them back. And I was like, how come 10 days have gone by and there's no deposits made into my account to reattach Uber? And it's because it's hooked up to the bank, but a different account, which I haven't touched. And made sure it was being watched. And the funniest thing about it too was I reported the last card for having a motherfucking $16 payment to Amazon Prime that wasn't mine. They said, well, what email do you use for your account? I said, how would I know it's not my account? They've actually called today on a different number and said, I never told you guys to call that. What the heck? This is the real me. You thought the last me was the real me? How come you don't ask for driver's license verification? See how much money I'm out on that other Amazon Prime account. Isn't that where people order stuff and have it delivered? Think about it. But then I was being a smartass to my stepdad. I was like, look, dude, I was like, just throw me some green in a truck and give me an apartment, dude. Which I knew I would be a sitting duck. But I was like, fuck it, let's rock and roll. And I'll leave you alone. I never would have. But right after that, other weird stuff started happening. I mean, I went out of his way to like, I posted pictures of him and my mom at their medical business. I said, look, Bonnie and Clyde, you guys almost got away with it too if it wasn't for that pesky fox and those algorithms. And I kind of encoded it, like, didn't exactly say, but still put on there, like, you two are, you know, quite a fucking pair there. Look at these two. My parents, they work for this company. And what's sad for them and everyone else is that, like, these groups of people clip people and they move people around. It makes me wonder why the last two places I went to that collected Medicaid for these classes aren't even open anymore. And I have a choice between this one or this other one. When I'm telling my report file all the time, I'm like, hey, look, I was a specialist as a private investigator, and that's what I did, and they hired me, and I'm like, what did you think was going to happen? You thought you just were making things up? I don't know. We thought you were crazy and perfect for the job. Oh, and that's weird, dude, because, you know, I've been setting you up the whole time. I called another old insurance company of that truck that I was driving for the business. I said, look, here's pictures of the truck with a white box. Here's pictures with a black box. Here's pictures of it with this Jake's Benson coat years ago, and there's another one here. Then there's another one connected. And I know we don't know if any of them are connected to him, but I could tell which Facebook was his and who he was talking to. And I look on there, and that's the pictures I found on there. And I find pictures of him building a fence with another guy that's like, putting the new materials they're selling from other jobs on that job while they've got the truck that wasn't insured that they gave me that literally I put out there was already insurance claimed numerous times by the same guy that the box changed on it that, you know, I said, yeah. So I'll let you guys know, same box is on it as before, except it's black. You can't just keep changing the LLCs, guys, and changing the names a little bit on each house you rob and each business you rob, and changing the motherfucking loans that you get unless you get a different device and go to a different place and use someone completely unconnected every time. And that's pretty impossible for you to do. You'd have to spread out the crime. It'd be too far, or you wouldn't make enough money. But you know how you can't recover a Google account that's not yours because you don't have enough information to recover the account. Ultimately, that's what's going to happen with these guys today. I'm going to say, yeah. I know I have another account there and I want to get into it. And I need to talk to somebody higher up because if I don't get into that account and move some money right now, there's going to be help pay, guys. You guys know who's in charge of this shit, right? Come on now. I have phone services to emails I don't own that I can't get into. I have Amazon Prime accounts. So I'm going to call Amazon Prime today and I'm going to tell them I didn't shut it down. But what they don't have now is my card information because I switched cards. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then be like, my girlfriend was in complete control of it. I need to know what she's been ordering. And I look at it, Amazon Prime account that I had recently. I mean, if it's that easy, I could potentially call every place and every bank there's an account at and just red flag the account as if I was the other person every time. Again, very interesting with the sister attorneys and that other guy, Mr. Friend. And then I'm thinking, like, you get a divorce in a county that's Baxter County in Arkansas. Is that because it's close to the resort that they own and not near the houses that they own? In a state they don't do those things in, but do something else. And I'm trying to figure out what they do there. I'm calling some places in Baxter County today. Hmm. And now that the person tried to tell me that all they did was the divorce at that courthouse today, I'm gonna call back a second time and tell them I'm needing the probates for the fucking for the property. Well, see if I can get any records. Everywhere I call, I can't get records, though, you guys. You know how there's like a 2 or 3 or 7 day wait for records? Well, for starters, it's public records. And you're not supposed to pay for it under the Freedom of Records and the Public Information Act. You're supposed to be given the records for 5, 10, 15 cents a copy with like a cap. But our tax money already pays for that stuff. And it's not supposed to be tampered with. Anybody can ask for it. And they'll tell you, we need you to fill out this form for it. We need you to wait 3 or 7 days. An attorney needs to review it. Why is an attorney going to review something to redact things from that there's no court order for on the spot? And then you get back papers where it's missing documents or it's got items blacked out. Or they give you dumbass shit like they did with the social security numbers on these other people that they were stealing every home from. And they compile it into a big old pile of shit. And then when you need it, well, hold on. You said you were married twice? Yeah, ma'am, I can't find a divorce record or a marriage certificate. She's like, so what does that mean then? And why, when I ordered my divorce paperwork, did it take them 14 days to get it to me? And they sent it to another place that took copies of it. How bizarre. There's got to be accounts running in my name all over the place that these places are keeping from telling. What's going to make a difference if I go in with an ID? What makes the difference on that? Are they looking for somebody to arrest? Are they going to let me walk out with the money? Are they going to be able to tell if there are more or less accounts because I'm there in person? Or has there been so much of this stuff going on at the banks, they're starting to tell me that it's a lot harder for me to get through the security program? Not to mention answering those security questions give me mind to write down what those people are asking me on those 4 questions and then compare them to my name somewhere else. I've changed my account so many times. then moved to different states. It's funny. And then they thought I was in certain states when I wasn't. So, that made them do certain things that were just stupid. Guaranteed. Make it look like he did something over here, but I wasn't even there. Then what do? Fuck. We don't know. His phones did ping in another state. I wonder how I could fucking sit here today and make sure these fucking clowns start switching positions. Maybe they'll start leaving me alone. But the reason I look at people that come into my life is because the bottom line is they are staged there. And even the whole group of persons being swapped out by a probation officer is weird. All of a sudden. And they're not scared about anybody but me. And then me to get there and her to act the way she did and not be an ATF. You realize that if I could prove that she's not who she is and she's sitting as my PO, why do you think they don't want to be looked up? You're such a smart criminal justice double psychology major. You didn't even consider who the person was that you were. I don't understand it. Very bizarre. Same thing with the competency eval and the other evaluation for class there too. I let Medicaid pay for it, and they're like, "Yeah, we're just gonna do this one class, and that's gonna be it." I'm like, "Well, can I come in once a month and see you guys so I can talk to somebody?" No, we don't need you to come in here once a month. It makes me wonder how much mental health possibility about stuff that's going on behind my back as well. What if they say I'm going in there every month? I don't understand. And then tell the PO, oh, well, he reports his employers for fraud that he report. So, well, yeah, why can't I find an honest employer? Especially when they're trying to set me up for it. So every time I don't take anything. I tell them every time, like, no, I didn't change that. There was another bank account at Nevada State Bank that was my account apparently right after I made the other one when I was there. And somebody had gone and set up an online setup with it. And this stuff just keeps happening. What if me and my brother aren't even my parents' kids? They took us as babies. We don't even know. I don't know. I find it strange that I'm not entitled to any inheritance and that my parents don't love me. You know? It's bizarre. I had this weird thought too about Michaela Henryson, the one that had my daughter. What if the doctor fucking impregnated her or something like these hundreds of doctors do? How is it that Cassandra Uranga had a perfectly healthy kid and has a disease that she doesn't pass to anybody? I don't know. I don't know. a lot of these things are strange. She said her dad had a lot of money in the family. Maybe that's why. I really wish I could talk to my kids' moms and tell them what to do. These people would have punished me more if they made me hold myself accountable for sticking around. But that's the thing. If they would have let me stick around, I would have. And they wouldn't have been able to talk shit. So I'm wondering, the more I started to point out about everyone too, there's this girl Cheyenne out here whose father died, and then there's this other girl, Amber Sickles Taberman. She had all kinds of names. She had a $500,000 house with 3 kids in it. Where her last exes, one is dead, one is dealing with DV, and here she's like, we're selling the house. She's been there forever broke on the same phone. Doesn't want to call me back, doesn't use another phone. Don't know how she gets by. Like, why don't we go print up like 50 house deeds, man, and just stamp them out? Because what I'm kind of noticing with what I got going on here, these things keep getting wiped off and then you don't hear about them. I'm like, yeah, whatever that second account was, it's not mine. Did you have someone call me about it? Nope. Okay. You know, big brother, man. That's why I think too that like, why would they want to give us a medical thing later and not to, that's what's weird, to see if we're okay to drive, to test us, like in what way? What are those medical driving position tests doing? I don't know if they take blood during them. I mean, I've talked to people who've had 700 pounds of shit in their car that was a rental that they claimed they didn't know was there, that they rented 10, 20 cars like that from the same businesses, the same people that own them. And the people that own the businesses out here are the fucking people I'm talking about, which are the lawyers, the judges, the police, the doctors. And they're usually pretty lucky at getting people to go nuts on drugs and be ignorant to this stuff. But for some reason, I am dug in. I'm like, what else could I do? Because I was thinking about that before, like how I could exploit Google using its own weaknesses against it. I pretty much think I have, and the email I sent last night was funny too. I was like, you guys are so fucking great. You keep doing what you're doing. Because you're allowing them to, tie everything together. Anything that's encrypted, it like pretty much costs money or it runs through in their app. So I'm trying to learn that type of stuff, dealing with all the settings on the phone to make sure that the phone is just like online, but it doesn't detect internet. Just like you guys, I don't really have anyone to talk to anymore. Usually I just stream on here with chicks on like Chatterbait and stuff, but I am kind of lost at this point, but the stress is due to the people destroying my life and making it so that I'm alone sitting here and nobody seems to care or helps me anywhere I go. And yeah, there's like nothing left to take from me except for like go do your job and just work it. And like, why would I do that? It's like every job I work at, I can figure out every loophole on how to take advantage of the place one way or another. Like that's crazy because you guys are sick. Like, and I can just watch you fuck up and record it the whole time, and then get way more money out of the job than I was ever gonna get if I worked the job. You know, everything's about is a loophole, anyways, right? All right, I'm gonna get ready to look some stuff up here. One thing I was curious about was the whole hospice thing with my grandpa. Person is sent home from the hospital on hospice. Is the family allowed to get the drugs? Liquid, morphine, or I just answered my question, you guys. So liquid morphine or what was it, lorazepam? You know why? Is because one of the people that dropped it off to use said the moment he died, they needed to take it back. Why would you be worried about him having the medical stuff in his room? That would cause dangerous interaction. Actually, you tell your doctor. Hospice management was used in the hospice to help every patient. Restlessness. Diazepam will help them calm down. I feel like they set me and my girlfriend up. We didn't know any better at the time. Can you come over and help us get grandpa's medicine? I said, no, I'm not doing it. And some other chick there did it. But I remember she fucking drank a big old thing of it and like almost fucking died. It makes me wonder if my grandpa was even sick, like they said he was, or if they sent him home. Fucked up on purpose. This what I do is I study these things and I figured out like, do they take the hospice medication back? We're gonna need that medicine. We gave you huge bottles of it, but we need it back because he's dead now. I want to make sure that nobody else takes this. You see what I'm saying? That's weird. My dumbass took a bunch of it. Makes me wonder. Paragraph. Lorazepam is the second most used hospital medication that can be given alongside morphine. Described below if needed for comfort. The three most prescribed drugs. Who administers the meds? Self-medication. When you've been in hospice care, medication is like treatment to control your cellular illness will stop. For example, if you're receiving chemotherapy that is meant to treat or cure your cancer, that must end before you can go into your hospice care, which is what they did. They took him off chemo, which I'm pretty sure killed him, by the way. And brings a team together of skilled people among nurses, social workers, everyone, the medical person who's dying, the caregiver, and or family member to provide this emotional and importantly, but they don't give the medicines. What are end of life protocol? What is the injection given at the end of life? Patients near the end of life can experience refractory symptoms. Do hospice care may connect? People can get regular cost care instead of staying inside continuous care, but a person may also get help at home from an aide or both. There was weird stuff to where my grandma gave me certain things from my grandpa as well. And when I went to go put tools in my grandpa's garage, for example, my uncle would not even let me put my grandpa's tools in his garage after they came from where they were coming from. And here, when they so-called moved out here, they had left my grandma there alone. Supposedly took her money and paid the truck at the moving company, but didn't include her move. So she comes out, and I have to go back to get her stuff. When I brought it out, it was stuff that was left in the house that was like not even much, like a 16-foot truck worth of stuff. None of it seemed like anything that was that important. Still fucking very curious about who lives in that house across the street there now, and if she really sold it. Who she would be fooling or anything. I mean, the church she was going to out there, the pastor's son supposedly drowned out fishing with his buddy. Does not try to hasten or postpone death so like they don't increase the medication each time. Because that's what they said. They said just keep giving them more until that's it. And my mom acted hella weird about it when that's what I asked her. I said, hey, why did we get told to give him medication? Uh, you know, it's like you guys are setting us up and then not put us in the will and then bring the fucking daughter of his out that he hadn't seen, that supposedly didn't care about him, and make sure she got her dollar. I'm feeling like whatever club these people are in, they do replace one another with them. And I think my grandma and her friend are getting to live longer because they're in that old folks' home where they're taking advantage of people. Because here they're traveling some old town, then going to Vegas, and I'm like, my friend whose kid has Lou Gehrig's disease, we're going out there to see him. Well, she's like, I don't really have money to stay anywhere if I come visit you. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, why did you move next to my uncle? He ditched you in California and he ditched you, out there in North Carolina. What the fuck's in North Carolina? I don't know. I really don't. Hospice healthcare. Hospice focuses on the family as well as individual care. This unlawful person for they bring all the stuff over and they take it away too. And what's weird is you bring someone home to die in your house when you're gonna have to disclose that, and there's money on your house. However, let's see. Will hospice tell you to administer or increase meds to patients brought home? Send it to people. Sorry I got boring for a little while. It doesn't really matter. I'm tired. I appreciate that if anybody's listening. Regardless, I think it gets uploaded in a server somewhere. So hopefully somebody decent will listen to it. But every time I look into something, it's more fucked up shit.